Hello. Happy Sunday, y'all. I hope I'm not muted. I look like I'm not muted. Hello. Welcome, friends. Oh, Catachino, thank you so much for the sub. I do have alerts turned off today because it's chatting centric. Good, because I'm having some issues with my audio box and it's very annoying. I'm very annoyed. I had an audio driver update, but I'm having a ringing, so I'm a little bit like paranoid. Thank you, Don. Hello, everybody in chat. I'm so nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the biddies. Fart sparkle. Oh my God. It's weird to not have alerts. I'm not going to lie, but I felt like today's topics are it has tinnitus. I felt like today's, and thank you for your host, Eduardo. I felt like today's content was just a little bit too serious to have alerts. I suppose I could turn them on for right now because I feel like I'm going to miss stuff otherwise. But maybe once we have guests on or our endo streamers on, I will probably turn them back off. Thank you, Dee, for those last minute permission issues that I have in Discord with my voice chats. I did not realize I was having said issues until we had them. Hello, Misty. Oh my goodness. Holy, what the hell? How? Guys, y'all, what the fuck? I'm not even, hello? Oh my goodness. Tortoise. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Holy cow, the gift subs. We're in a level 2 hype train on a Sunday fucking afternoon. Sunday morning hype train calling. Oh my God. I'm sweating already. Listen, I'm so excited that I was able to put something like this together today. And I will just say that I'm very stressed about the technology part, right? Because there's a lot of switching scenes and
Baymix underscore Sean cheered X100.
Thank you so much. Ooh, I'm going to delete desktop audio for now too.
Ira Blankenship cheered X500.
Oh my goodness. Choo. Wow, is it loud? I'm sorry. I didn't change it, but maybe it's louder today.
Misty Mio wow cheered.
You're right,
X100.
it's really loud.
Misty M10 hype.
Misty! Oh my goodness, thank you for the biddies. Baymix, Ira, thank you so much for the biddies. We are almost to a level, we're almost completed level 2 hype train. Yes, D. I have a button ready for that. Yes. Which is why I was also going to turn my alerts off because desktop audio runs off of that as well. So at least with this audio box and this looper, it does. So yeah, I have my mute buttons ready to go for my audio box and for desktop audio that way. And my BRB screen has music in it that doesn't use either source. So I think that I'm ready to go other than that. I think those permissions in there were one of the last things that needed to happen. But I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited because I have some people joining me today that I've only ever hung out in their streams or they've hung out here in my streams, and they are all streamers who have endometriosis, just like me. And I'm really excited to get to ask them some questions, and thank you, Dee. I appreciate you.
Ira Blankenship cheered X500. Ding fries are done.
Ding fries are done. Ira, you went to level 2 for us. Oh my goodness. I'm sweating. If I wasn't sweating before because of technology, I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm really excited. And I'm just hoping technology plays well with me today because I have a lot of scene switching to do and a lot of muting and unmuting or whatever. If it boils down to it, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Hi, Odell. Ira, you do. So my plan has been, I've been communicating with these endo streamers. I've just pretty much started calling them endo streamers. They haven't objected to it. And I'm really excited to talk to them because I know I talk about my struggles on my streams a lot. I've been doing every single day, endometriosis awareness. Hi, Duncan. And so it's a lot. And so y'all know Paige.
Hi.
Endo streamers, right? So Paige, Mind of Paige, or Paige. And hi, thank you for your follow. I'm not even going to say that, but thank you for your follow. AFP. I'll go with that. um, thank you for that. And I feel scammed because I wouldn't say, okay, I'll do it. Ass fuck, please. Thank you for your follow. Ass fuck, please. Paige is gonna be on the stream a little bit later. She's also streaming later, so I'm thinking maybe a little raid over to Paige's stream after might be in order, as long as Paige is okay with that. We did not talk about this, so as oh my goodness, I cannot. Oh my gosh, we are still in a level 3 hype train, guys. I'm shooketh. I've been saying this all month, is that with the amount of hi pig, it's okay. We've barely even begun. We've only just begun. And I'm incredibly happy to share my story on socials. And if somebody could do the socials command real quick, just because I'm going to have a lot of trouble typing because I have my chat open on it. What I learned today was I need 3 monitors. I have my chat open, thanks guys, on my tablet, which is not the easiest thing to type on. And I have OBS on the other monitor, and I'm going to have the Discord open full screen on my actual laptop. So if you notice that I'm not typing a lot, it's because it's a pain in my ass and it's on my tablet today. And so what I've learned is I need another monitor is what I've learned. Just for today. But I do want to do more of these because, like I said, if you follow me on socials, you've seen that I've been doing endometriosis awareness all month long. And if you guys can see on the screen right now, the community has raised over $1,500. I'm downstairs painting and I was still quicker.
Duncan donated $230 to ENDOCHAT via Streamlabs.
Duncan. Well, Duncan just finished crushing the goal. I think officially, right? Because math. Oh my gosh. Duncan. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm going to cry. I mean, I'm going to try not to cry, but I'm going to cry. Right? Oh my goodness. I never dreamed, and I the people that are close to me, I've talked to about this quite a lot, is like, I was going to make my goal 1K, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, if I could get 1K by myself in a month, I'll be so fucking happy. And then within 2 weeks, we made 1K for EndoFound, which is, by the way, the Endometriosis Foundation of America. I believe FAC is the link, or is the command for that. Oh, well, stream's over. Good night. Thank you for your alert, Kate. So you can find more information out on endofound.org/FAC, but that is the main website for EndoFound, which is what I've been raising money for. So today and then Monday and Wednesday, I still have time to raise money for EndoFound. So maybe I will go up to 25. I don't know, but I'm absolutely speechless, right, Paige? I'm speechless. And a lot of the other streamers we're going to talk to have also been doing their own EndoFound or other endometriosis campaigns all month. And I'm so proud of every single one of them. And we finished the hype train. The hype train has completed. I'm not mad. At level 2 complete, I will take that motherfucker. We'd also, by the way, we surpassed 300 subs today for the second time. And I'm like literally shaking. Like I am shooketh. I have no words. Oh, your birthday's the 31st. Oh my goodness. Paige, I did not realize that. That's amazing.
Overachiever Award donated $50 to EndoFound via Streamlabs.
Thank you, Overachiever Award, for your anonymous gift, I suppose, because I don't know who you are. So the other streamers are coming. Hello, Swarnak. So we have a little bit of like a lineup today. It might not be exactly what I planned or exactly what is in the cards, because there is one of these streamers who unfortunately has not been in communication with me today. But Catstrike, Becca, and Paige, which Catstrike is Catstrike, Green Eyes is Becca, and Mind of Paige, who's in the chat currently, are all on deck. They will be starting in around 15 minutes. I have Kat scheduled to pop on with me at 3 o'clock because I wanted to do like, instead of it being like this whole big giant panel with a bunch of people, I wanted some time to talk to them individually. And I also didn't want to take up, 3 hours of people's time because I know that I'm exhausted this month and it's not
Hi.
even the end of the month. Hi, thank you for your host, Kat. Hello, ma'am. Speaking of Kat, and so I wanted to take some time to talk to you guys about my story. If you're hello, so if you're new here, or well, if you're not new here, and you probably know that I've like I said, I've been doing endometriosis awareness all month long, and Kat, do you see this? Do you see this goal right here? It's already been smashed today. We had 1770
Hi.
coming into this stream. Hi, thank you for your host page. Uh, and just immediately, M. Duncan in the chat smashed the goal away to bits. Somebody else went over. So I'm thinking in the next, because we still have a couple days left of March, I'm thinking that I might bump it up to $2,500 just to see how much we can do. And if we can't, we can't. And that's fine. But I'm so incredibly proud of this community, right, Kat? So I talk about my endo struggles a lot. And I'm really excited to talk to other streamers about their struggles. The first two people I ever talked to about their struggles, who are also streamers, are streamers named Emmy, full of Emily, and also She Anxious. And unfortunately, they couldn't take part in this chat today, but I do know that they're both very interested in the future. And for me, finding other people, not just with chronic illness, who also stream, but who have endometriosis specifically, is special. I don't know that that's the word I want to use. It means a lot to me that other streamers might want to put chronically ill or endo warrior or whatever verbiage in their bios and want to talk about it on stream sometimes. And I know that all the people on this stream today who we will be talking to, they don't make it a thing all the time like I do. Like, I have spoons on my screen all the time to represent the spoony community and how I represent my energy on screen. And I even have a spoon check reward, channel point, because I want people to start being aware of the fact that whether you have a chronic illness or not, people can be using the terminology of spoons. It's for everybody. Not everybody is a spoonie. Only people with chronic illnesses, invisible illnesses, sometimes autoimmune diseases, depending on what diseases you have. Not everybody is a spoonie. However, I do think that it's totally okay to understand what spoons mean and to use that verbiage sometimes as energy levels. And so that's why you see where I'm like, that's why you see spoons on my screen at all times. And Damon Arkey made this for me. It's actually a game capture and it works with my stream deck. And so when the spoon check reward happens, I think about how many spoons are on my screen. I try to always start with 10 at the beginning of every stream. And whenever somebody does spoon check, I'm like, how am I feeling? Like, let's be honest. How am I feeling right now? And so sometimes I'll take a couple down. Sometimes I'll leave all 10. Sometimes if something crazy has happened and I have a second wave of energy, I will add some spoons back in. So it's definitely a language I want to start spreading awareness about, not just for endometriosis sufferers, but for literally anybody with a chronic illness. And honestly, even more sometimes for people without chronic illnesses, because it's just as important to understand this as people who don't have it. And that's actually something I want to talk to every single person today about, just regarding, that's definitely a huge point I want to touch on with everybody, is how the people in your life deal with it, handle it. Do they deal with it? Have you lost people over it? Just like all these things, So I think the spoony community and us understanding the verbiage is just as important as everybody else understanding the verbiage. Yeah, Paige, I learned about it because of Facebook when I was still using Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook much anymore. I post my shit on Facebook, but that's it. I don't really scroll aimlessly. Too much toxicity. So So when I first was diagnosed in 2013, and I have about 10 more minutes until I want to BRB and grab Kat. And just so you know where I'm at, Kat. So a quick recap of my own personal endo journey is I was diagnosed in 2013, and I was dealing with incredible amounts of pain for I would say at least 2 years, but it put me in the hospital, like ER hospital, like something's very, very wrong hospital, a couple times in 2011, and then at least 3 or 4 times in 2012. And my doctors kept telling me that nothing's wrong. Like, we can't find anything. And that's okay, because that was the truth. However, my doctors also were not even considering looking for anything else because of my age. Because in 2011, I was 22 years old. In 2012, I was 23. And so my doctor, who, by the way, was a middle-aged female, which I think it makes it so much more offensive to me. She just kept telling me, "What? You're 22. There's nothing wrong." And I kept telling her, "I can't read your name. Why I can't read your name." I'm gonna go with Jen because that's the part I can see. Hi, Jen. So I she just kept telling me there's nothing wrong, and I kept telling her, I know that the tests are coming back normal and nothing's happening in the ultrasounds, but I know that something's wrong with my hormones. And I kept getting put on different birth controls because that's the first thing doctors want to do, because it does help mask the symptoms, but it never stops a disease like endometriosis from progressing and getting worse. So this time, I started getting ultrasounds, and they did start to find cysts. And yeah, it says Jen in your name. I see Slidgen listen. Silgenison. My chat's kind of far from me today. Oh, it's Silge. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So tell me if it's Silge. Oh, it's Swedish. It's fine. I'm so sorry. I'm not great at reading usernames that have foreign words in them. We've learned this. Xeri. Xeri. Hi, Chewy. I was just talking about my own endo journey. I wouldn't be mad about Xeri. 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 No, but I'm telling my own personal endo journey real quick before we get into it with other endo streamers. And so thanks. And so I kept telling her, I really feel something's wrong. And so she finally started getting me ultrasounds. We did find some cysts. This is all 2012, after I'd already noticed quite a lot of digestion issues, which is very common with people with endometriosis. Sorry, I'm in the endo streamers chat right now. So she finally started ordering ultrasounds, and so we started finding cysts in my ovaries, around my ovaries. And as somebody who knows this, it's hard for me to like go back and forth on like, do I repeat myself? I will, for the sake of what the topic of conversation is today. And it's that it's very common for, I'll say, people with uteruses to have cysts that are very small. They burst around the times of your cycles and your ovulation and stuff like that. And that's actually relatively common. What's not common is for those cysts to not go away, or for them to grow to a size of needing surgery. So over the course of 2012, I had a cyst. Hi. Thank you for your follow. I had a cyst grow to the inside my right ovary. I'm literally pointing to my right ovary as if you can see it, but pretend it's right here. Hi, Beta. I miss your face. Literally, because you haven't been streaming. I miss your face. But oh no, what was I gonna say? Okay, so inside my right ovary, the cyst that was there, I had one cyst that was not bursting, it was not breaking, nothing good was happening there, and it finally grew to the size of a small grapefruit, which give or take, is about the size of my relatively small fist, hands put together like this, inside my right ovary. Y'all know that ovaries are very, very small. They're smaller than a ping pong ball, but about that size normally, give or take. And so they decided to schedule a surgery, and yeah, it was very bad. It was very, very bad. And it was all because this doctor kept putting off ultrasounds, and she kept telling me, no, the birth control's going to work. It's going to be fine. And oh yeah, no, they're quite a bit smaller. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally they're quite a bit smaller, around the size of a ping pong ball, give or take. I would say they're probably normally a little smaller than that, actually, because your uterus is about the size of a fist, and then you have to picture, like, obviously, like, the little ovaries relatively close by. Doctors suck. Yes, they do. So yeah, you can see how that cyst was very, very problematic, and it was to the point that they were like, you need surgery pretty much as soon as you can schedule it. It still took me a month to get a surgery. Again, this was in early 2013. I ended up getting the surgery in February 2013, and it did burst on the way out, but they knew that was going to happen. My surgeon had already taken that precaution. Oh, thank you, SMAC. They had taken the precaution because they could tell that it was going to be like that. Have a great lurk, Chewy. Thank you for your schmirk lurk. And so they had, well, without getting into the laparoscopic bullshit, because it's too much for 4 minutes, but they were able to wrap it and pull it out. Even though it burst, I did not go into any sort of septic shock or anything like that, because that's definitely could have been what happened. They also, prior to the surgery, right before the surgery, within the weeks of, they did my blood work, because they do that before surgeries, I guess. And they told me that it looked like, oh no, Swarnak, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, because doctors suck. It's the whole, literally, doctors suck. So yeah, I'm okay. I hope you're okay. I hope that there's a plan of attack for you, Swarnak. Absolutely. I hope that that's finally moving forward now. I am okay now, but I'm okay in the sense that they told me when I had my blood work done in 2013, early 2013, that they thought that I might have cancer in my pelvic lymph nodes. And so I briefly touched on this in Beta's podcast a couple weeks ago. Raise a Beta in the chat started a podcast. I got into this quite a bit in that podcast. And I'm not going to cry. The reason I do awareness is because my doctors were ignoring it. And then I had cancerous levels in my fucking thing. And it's simply because I was too young and nobody wanted to believe me. Even my female middle-aged doctor didn't want to believe me. And I know, wrong chat. I don't have a podcast thing. But yeah. And needless to say, I didn't have cancer, but I did have to have an oncologist there. And I had signed paperwork to, I'm not going to cry because we are 33 minutes into this and I'm not going to cry. Rein it in, bish.
Hi.
Okay. So thank you for your follow, the freak. I had signed off paperwork to say that if they found cancer in any of my organs, they could take it, which was a big possibility. And at 23 to go into medical menopause, that would have been terrible. And I'm not going to cry. And luckily I didn't. That wasn't the story. But my whole reason I spread awareness is because it could have been my story. And that could have gone really, 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 really wrong really fast for me. And I was fucking 20. I had just turned 24. And so I'm good. I'm good now. I still have endometriosis. That was 8 years ago now. February 22nd was my endoversary, I call it. And I just don't want to cry because I don't want to fuck up my makeup, to be completely honest with you. I've cried on screen before. I have cried on screen before. Won't be the first time. Today won't be the last. And so So anyway, the only way to diagnose endometriosis is through surgery, definitive surgery. So for when people say they are diagnosed and they know they have endometriosis, it means that they've been through some shit. And I still have endo because there's no cure. And that's at the end of the day why I raise money for EndoFound is they are big into research and awareness. And I'm so grateful I have these Kleenexes sitting here. Yeah, Odell. It's extremely common. They say, and by they I mean the current research says about 1 in 10 people have endo, but the fucking number I think is much higher because surgery is the only thing that can actually diagnose. So with that said, it's 3:00 and I want to get Kat on here because I don't want to cry. And if I start talking to Kat, maybe I'll forget that I was crying. It'll be fine. So what we're going to do real quick is I'm going to put a BRB screen up in between all of my guests. And when we're switching over, you'll hear some cool fucking music. Sup, Manuel?
Hi.
Can I vote that she's doing the rest of the thing? No, Tortoise. And hi, thank you for your follow. And so yeah, I'm going to, Kat's in the waiting room. She's ready to go. So I'm going to check in with her and I will be back in just a few moments, not crying. I appreciate you all already being here. I'm so incredibly happy to continue spreading awareness. Oh my goodness, Odell. Holy shit. And I bet you, let me bet money, Odell, that nobody wanted to believe her because she's so young. That's a huge problem in this medical system. In America, I'm only speaking for America, and Kat's actually, I believe, not located in America. So I'm interested to hear her experiences in a different country as well, because our other couple of guests are also in America. Not in Michigan, but in America nonetheless. So I will be right back. We're going to get Kat Strike up here in a second. And yeah, thank you guys for already being here and already meeting this goal. I'm blown away. Anyway, I will see you guys in 1 second. Hey.
Hello. It's working now. Yeah, I'll do video. Let me share. Hey. Oh, no, don't be. Oh, sorry. Hello again. Right. Am I loud? Am I loud enough, Erin?
Okay. I think we are successfully here. Hello, Kat.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so good today. I'm sweating and just
Oh,
a little stressed because technology. But let me know in the
Yeah.
chat if everything's good. Oh, you guys could hear me? That's funny. I didn't know that you guys could hear me. I thought my audio box was muted. See, it's fine. It's fine. All right. So, Kat, welcome to my stream. Thank you so much for carving some time out of your busy schedule to be here.
Thank you so much for having me, and hello, chat. How are you all doing?
So before I get into like, the initial questions, I just want to say, oh, thank you for your follow, the Dude Brothers. I just want to say, like, your energy in your streams legit like scares me in the best way. Like,
Thank you.
it's so great. I love it. Anyway, I have so many questions about how you retain that many spoons for stream. But before we get there, like I was saying pre-interview wise, I just want, so you can say to the viewers your preferred name, your pronouns, a brief channel description of what you do, and any other identifiers that you might want to throw out there.
Okay. Do you want me to do now?
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a bit tired.
It's okay.
Hey everybody, my name's Kat Strike. I'm a variety streamer. I do a little bit of music production. I do a lot of just crazy games and do some cooking. So we just like having a good time on my stream. It's very silly. And my pronouns are she, her as well. And I'm a musician as well, but I'm not as good at streaming it as Erin is. I was like looking at your rig like, oh my god, you have got it set up. Like you've got a little mixer and everything.
I do. Well, this is all new to me. Relatively new. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you. And I had a chance to go check out some of your music on Spotify. And I have to tell you, I was so excited to find out that like this random endo streamer also puts music out into the world. I was just like, what are the chances? You were one of the first people that I found when I started making the endo streamers list on Twitter. And I was just like, whoa, she's a musician too. Like, yeah, I was just really happy about that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little fangirly at the moment. I'm sorry.
I love finding other women producers and musicians because it can be quite hard, and especially finding someone else with endo as well. It's so rare, isn't it? So we'll definitely have to keep in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm watching your journey and like how like your viewership has just even grown in the last month that I think I found you, and it's congrats on that. Like,
oh, thank you so much.
the growth is really fun to watch, and it's really I'm not surprised because your energy, like I said, your energy is kind of unmatched. And it's really exciting. And so before we get into all of the questions I have, because I have so many, what if you can sum up your endo journey or endo diagnosis story? How did that come to be?
Okay. I mean, as you know, it's always a long story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It can be a long
basically,
story if you want it to be. It's however you want to go about it.
I'll try and keep it not, I'll try and make it not boring. uh, but it's trying to remember it as well because of, like, I've been through so much treatments and stuff since then. It all kind of just blurs together. But my mum had endometriosis, and she had it from when she was a teenager. She used to tell me stories about how she would, when she was on her period, she would crawl to the toilet 'cause she was in so much pain. And she had a hysterectomy when she was 27 because of the
Wow.
pain. And that's the only reason I heard about it. And she died when I was 16, and I think she died of endo related causes, because at the time when you had a hysterectomy, that was it. There was no aftercare. They didn't know that it comes back because she was still on HRT and stuff.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, and like they just had no idea. Like she knew so little about it compared to what I know today. And I went on holiday with my boyfriend at the time, and I was about 18, and I got my period, and I was in so much agony. We were staying in this little caravan outside, and we had like an outdoor toilet, and I was crawling along the floor to go to the toilet, and I was like, wait a minute, this is what happened to my mum. I think
Yeah.
I have endometriosis. But I didn't get diagnosed until about 6 years later, 7 years later.
Yeah.
And that was fun because my specialist didn't believe me. Like there's a lot of stigma here, just like there is in the US, where they
Mm-hmm.
just don't believe you. A big thing I have learned now is if you do not trust your consultant, don't let them do surgery on you, even if you're
Oh,
desperate. Yeah.
that sounds like from experience. That's,
Oh yeah.
oh no.
Yeah, he made it way worse. But anyway,
Oh.
we'll probably get into that.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever
um
you do want to get into, whatever you don't want to get into, it's up to you.
Oh, I'm really open about it because I think it's such a horrible disease that we don't talk about because it affects women. And I think I talk about it a lot on my stream, even though I'm silly and stuff. And my friends, anyone who'll listen, I will tell them about this because
Mm-hmm.
so many of us live with it. And we don't, it's never discussed. It shouldn't take us 7 years to get diagnosed when we have to miss so much work. And like, I can't
Right.
even work because of it. And it's just so ridiculous that we live like this because people who have MS or arthritis or cancer or other, they have support that we don't get. We don't get any mental health support. We barely, like, the treatments we have they are so archaic and old. Like, why are we going on hormonal treatments that
Yeah.
are messing with our bodies, causing, sorry, I'm just ranting now.
Rant.
Sorry.
No, go
You've given
rant.
me a platform
You
and
do
I'll
you,
just
girl. You do you.
but it's ridiculous. Like I've been on the GnRH analogs, which put you through the temporary menopause, and
Okay.
I've been through them twice.
Wow.
And every month you're on that, you lose 1% of bone density, and you also risk getting the menopause. Risk going into the menopause properly. So there's a huge fear there. You're just trying to manage pain for 6 months, but you're
Mhm.
like, am I going to go for the menopause and never be able to have kids? And like, we shouldn't have to be making these decisions without any help. Like, I had no help from anyone. I had to figure this stuff out on my own. Sorry.
Wow. No, don't be sorry. That's literally what I'm here to talk about. And
Yeah.
and specifically because you're in the UK, right?
Mm.
And I apologize for my own ignorance around it, but I'm obviously just more familiar what's going on with American healthcare. So I'm very interested specifically in that part of your journey because I'm just so ignorant to it. I haven't experienced it. I don't know many people in the UK with endo.
Yeah.
Actually, you're probably the first one. So it's just crazy. And so if you don't mind me asking, the surgery
No,
that
not
went
at all.
wrong. So what did they go in for? Just I guess
So,
all of that.
so it was all a big. Can I swear on this
Fuck
stream?
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a big fucking clusterfuck. Even from start to finish. So before the surgery, it was just supposed to be a diagnostic laparoscopy. I had a cyst that wouldn't go away, but I was actually in a lot of pain. Like on my period, I felt like I was being stabbed. It was like traumatizing me. It was so traumatic. The pain was so horrible. And I just couldn't do anything about it. And I feel like I'm quite a strong person. I've been for a lot of my life. I've been homeless twice. I've
Wow.
got a master's degree. I've went through a lot, and like this pain was like nothing I'd ever been through. And I just couldn't cope with it. And he said if the cyst was still there in like 6 months, he'll do an operation. I waited 6 months, got a scan. He was like, okay, if you still have it in 6 months, we'll do an operation. So I waited a year, and he's one of those doctors that suggested getting pregnant would help my endometriosis. And as you know, as soon as you hear that, that is a red flag. They don't understand the disease if they say that to you. And unfortunately, it's still said. And after the surgery, so actually before the surgery, they didn't tell me that I would be staying overnight, so I didn't have anything packed to go to hospital. So I went to hospital and I found out I would be staying when I was about to go into theatre, and I didn't have my phone on me because they tell you not to bring it. So my poor boyfriend at the time, he had no idea. When I came around, they didn't have a bed for me. I was in so much agony, and I had to wait in recovery for over 5 hours so they could find a bed for me. And when they did, it was the middle of summer.
Oh my
God. There was no aircon, there was no fans, and I was dying of heat. And I asked the nurse, like, can I get a fan? And she went, we tell patients to bring their own. And I went, but I didn't know I was going to be staying. So my poor boyfriend had to go and like get me clothes and pajamas. He did get in just before the ward closed so that I'd have something to wear. But I was in so much pain. I really felt like I'd been scraped on the inside. And he told me that my womb was stuck flat with endo on the outside, had been stuck flat. And he said that my bowel and my ovary were stuck to the right of my pelvis. And he also said he was really concerned because there was all these dots all over the fat on the inside of my stomach. And he didn't know that that's deep pelvic endo. That's a big indicator that you have infiltrating endo. Okay. He had no idea what that meant. And he then told me, he went, if you don't have children in 6 months, you'll never have kids. And then that was it. And that's it. He just said that. But 3 months after this operation, I had this tugging in my back. I could feel like this tugging whenever I would walk. It was like this pain. And then I had a period that left me disabled for a year. And I thought it was just a bad period. But what happened was I was getting this horrible nerve pain down my leg. I was getting really severe sciatica, and my hip started swelling to twice its size.
What?
And when I went back to that doctor, he told me I couldn't be in pain because I just had surgery. And he refused to refer me to a clinic because we have BSGE clinics here. They're specialist endo clinics that are being established in the UK.
Wow.
He refused to refer me. So I had to pay to go privately to see a doctor who operates on the NHS and privately. I had to pay to see him to get referred back to him on the NHS so I could get free healthcare. So I had to go around it. It was like I had to learn about this trick from a Facebook group just to get help.
Wow.
And he was amazing. But what he had found was, sorry, can I talk about the second one?
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. Whatever.
Rushing through it. So the second surgery, I had an amazing doctor called Dr. Lim. He was really lovely. And he really believed me as well, which I'd never been believed before. It wasn't just like, oh, it's your weight. Oh, it's this. He just believed me. And when he opened me up, he said that what had happened was that my ovary was plastered over a chocolate cyst over my kidney ureter. And this was all pushed up on the side. They were all like stuck together. So whenever I was walking, because I forgot to say I was in such agonizing pain, I couldn't walk for more than 10 minutes. So I couldn't cook. I put on like 40 pounds. Because I couldn't do anything anymore.
And sorry to interrupt. When was this?
No, go ahead. This was January 2019.
Oh, wow. So this is really fucking recently.
No. It was January 2020. It was January 2020 because I was waiting to recover, and then COVID happened because I'd spent a year being disabled, and then COVID.
Wow. I don't know why, but I pictured this like 10 years ago or something, and I'm crazy. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so he found that was all stuck together, that I've got deep infiltrating endo. I had it on both my kidney ureters, which is bad.
Yeah.
And, that's like the silent killer if it doesn't get addressed. I have it on my bladder. I've got it on my stomach. I've just got it everywhere. And I'm seeing a new specialist because I moved to a different part of the UK. And so we're looking at the moment because we think I've got like an adhesion in my stomach or something, like something they've missed last time that we're looking into. So, yeah.
Just a quick story. It's fine.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No. I have a feeling that we'll have a little more time, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm not super concerned about it, to be completely honest. And so that's so many things, and like so many traumas just built into this one topic. That's not even talking about any traumas you might have experienced before, and I'm sorry for saying it this way, before your mother was taken because of this.
Yeah.
And you mentioned being homeless, and I have I have a feeling that the horribleness of trying to deal with chronic pain and a system that's broken that won't give you disability and things like that probably had to do with that, if I'm guessing correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I couldn't if to get disability in the UK is so difficult that you have to basically not be able to walk. But even people who can walk, they're still not approved for it. And I after my mum died, I became homeless because we had nowhere to go, so we lived in a homeless hostel. And and then yeah, it was like getting over that, and then you get endo. I don't know. Sorry, Erin, I didn't really answer your question.
You know what? It's just there's so many. I don't even know what the fucking question was, to be honest. I'm lost in your story because there's so many things I want to address. And so you also said that you have a PhD. You said you have a master's.
Oh no, just
degree.
a master's. Sorry.
Oh,
just
I don't
a
know
master's.
the difference. Whatever.
So
to me, it's the same thing. All I have is a bachelor's. So.
Well, you do masters before PhD because I'd love to do a PhD. But
Gotcha.
Hashtag money.
Right?
Yeah, go get funded.
And thank you for your follow, by the way, Auntie Salmon. But so tell me about your master's. So just that journey alone, like just outside of the endo journey, how did you end up able to get your master's degree?
So I did my undergraduate degree and then I worked for a year in the games industry, but I was commuting into London every day and I got too ill because I can't work a normal work week. I just get exhausted by Wednesday and then I get migraines and I have to keep calling in sick. So I was like, what am I going to do now? And my boyfriend at the time, who I'm now married to, he was like, I want to do a master's. And I was thinking, shit, I want to do a master's. So we signed up to do it together because we met at uni anyway. So we did it together. And yeah, you get like you get like loan support here, so I had like a government loan to help with that. It was tough though. If I hadn't had Andrew, like, because we lived together as well, so we would drive together to uni. If I hadn't had him helping me, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Because I just wouldn't have been able to do the travel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so that actually leads to one of the things I was saying I really, really want to talk to all of the endo streamers today about is how do the people in your life handle or not handle the endo?
So it's interesting for me because my twin sister's in chat, Auntie Sammy, and she's just getting diagnosed for endo right now, like at the moment.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I mean, we're twins, innit?
Yeah. Are you guys identical twins?
Yeah, we are.
Dude, that's so cool.
But like my husband is amazing. I don't know if I could deal with this without him because he will take on the cooking and cleaning and he knows like my limits because even like at the moment I have back pain like every single day. So if I'm doing cleaning and stuff, I'm going to be really sore after, and he kind of knows my limit that that I try and do a bit at a time, and that it's been difficult with his family because I think they just don't understand because I look fine on the outside and they don't really understand how bad it is. And they're supportive. They will like read articles about endo, but I think as you know, the articles don't really have the bad stuff. They're just like, oh, it's painful periods. Oh, you might have, blah, blah, blah. It's not like, oh, your organs stick together. Oh, you're in crippling agony. Like, so they kind of try, but they don't understand. Yeah. But luckily I've got my husband and my sister and my friends are all very supportive as well. So that's good. Yeah.
And so, I think that even, and because you talk about it, probably not as often as I talk about it, but at the same time, we do talk about it on our streams a lot. The whole spoon thing and the fact that I have spoons on my screen. People normally are very quick to be like, why do you have spoons on your screen? And and so that's definitely been a point of like education because people otherwise are like, well, I wouldn't have ever known you're sick. And I'm like, that's part of the problem. What do you want me to do? Look like I'm dying constantly? Because that's how I feel. Like, that's how it feels, though. Yeah. Damon Archie, by the way, is the one in chat who built me this little game counter guy. I'm sorry, game capture. It's a spoon counter, and it works with my Stream Deck. And I tell people about it constantly. And I definitely I want to talk to him about potentially letting other endo streamer spoonies use it as well, but it's his business technically, so we'll talk about that on another time if anybody is interested, but I love it.
Sounds great.
I absolutely love it.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, I said it on screen one day. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could count my spoons? And he took that as challenge accepted. Well, thank you,
That's
Damon
amazing.
Archie. It's freeware as far as I'm concerned. Well, that's very very sweet of you. Uh,
Oh.
but so one of the other things, and this is obviously regarding streaming more to change gears, is you know all of the things I've learned about you this far. How did streaming become a part of that?
So I used to try to do YouTube when I started at uni, and I would stream on. One of my friends told me about like YouNow, and I used to stream on
Yes.
YouNow. Do you remember that? And then it
So
was like
Jen
full
in the
of
chat used to
weirdos.
stream on you now. I remember it, but
And
I did not stream on it.
it ended up full of like weirdos, like creepy men. And someone had told me about Twitch TV, and this was like 6, 7 years ago. And I used to, at the time, the guy I was living with, my ex-boyfriend, he had a PlayStation 4, and I used to stream just directly from the PlayStation 4 and get really drunk. And but I was quite lonely at the time. I had like no friends because it was a bad relationship, so he like cut me off from other people. So he would just sit on his own at night, and then I would just stream. So it was a way for me to just do something and meet people. And then it's
Yeah.
sort of, and then I started doing it to like promote my music, but then I ended up doing Twitch more than actual music. And it's just like taken over my life. So yeah.
But at the same time, it's like taken over. But I can see why. Like you've definitely worked clearly very hard on creating a
Oh,
brand, and I absolutely love all the things that you create on your Twitch and on your Twitter and on your Insta and just all the things. I'm a fan, needless to say.
thank you. That's
Sorry,
very kind.
yeah, and I wish I could spend more time there. But the time difference is pretty much what fucks it up for me. Is like it's never when I have the chance to be lurking. And
Yeah.
thank you all the lurkers in the chat too. By the way, I am reading the chat. I'm also paying attention to my guest. So as you can imagine, it's a lot. And I did mute the alerts, by the way, to those of you telling me that I did not do that. Right after I said I was going to. Spoon check. I'm gonna. Do I want to keep it at 10 right now? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at 10 right now. I think I'm in a good flow. I'm paying attention to the Discord though because I want to make sure that everything is flowing a little bit, the way it's supposed to be. I made a total Jenna Marbles face. Oh no. Are you hip to Jenna Marbles?
I used to watch her. Like I used to really love her. I haven't watched her in a
Same.
while.
Same. Well, after there was some shit that went down last year regarding the Black Lives Matter movement, and she actually stopped posting everywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know, right? I miss her so much. She
Aw.
did the right thing though. She really, really did the right thing. If there was a right thing, it was owning all of the content that she was putting out and owning the fact that it didn't age well. And she
Yeah.
apologized and people ripped her apart for that apology, and it's like all you can fucking do is evolve and
Yeah.
change. And nobody would let her, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they just ripped her apart and it wouldn't forgive her, and I think she didn't deserve the treatment that the internet did to her, but are we surprised that the internet did that to her? No, not really. But anyway, I digress. Apparently lots of people in the chat love Jenna Marbles. I'm a huge fan of her. It's a lot of, yeah, outrage culture and cancel culture. It's shitty. It's really shitty. I've actually worried about that sometimes myself. And actually, maybe you can relate. Some lyrics I've put in songs before are definitely worthy of cancel culture. And I worry sometimes that if I were to ever, quote, make it, that I would absolutely be called out for these things, even though I'm not the same person I was when I wrote some of those lyrics
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago even. But that's actually one of the questions that, believe it or not, that's a segue. That's actually one of the questions I had for you was any of your content. How does endo, if it does at all, affect your content?
It affects all of it actually, because the reason I try to be so high energy on stream is that I am not like that outside of streams. Sometimes if I see my friends and we're at a party or whatever, then maybe, but I'm never at the level where I'm on stream where I'm just like hyper. And because I have ADHD, I was ADHD diagnosed when I was 24, I think, when I was at uni. So I just get really hyperactive and have all these crazy ideas, and I never ever have that energy anywhere else. So I will so it makes me just want to go at it really hard and be as silly as possible. And it's also why I just want to forget that I have this disease, and I want to show people that, like, yeah, I've got something wrong with me, but you're not going to think about it when you're in my stream. We're just going to laugh at silly stuff, or like do silly voices, or write stupid songs. And it's a big part of my music as well. Like, I've been working on an EP for like 2 years, which is because I got ill and couldn't finish it and stuff. But a lot of that, I wanted to do everything myself, production, recording, everything, to show that people with a disability. I think my camera's gone out of focus, sorry.
That's me, been me all day, literally.
Why does it do this?
It's
Come
fine.
back, camera.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But it makes me, like, I don't know, it just drives me to try and do better. It's really frustrating because I can't stream as much as other people can. And like 3 hours is my limit at the moment, and that's not long enough a lot of the time to have a good stream. Like, you might just get those numbers to up your average, and then I have to come off, or I'll get a migraine or whatever. So I really try and make it count. So yeah, sorry, that was really long-winded.
No, that's the point. And I do think that we're going to end up potentially having a little extra time, so we'll see. Your poor camera. That's literally been me today. Like, actually. Yeah, I'm trying to do like 18 things at once. That's never a great time. But one of the other questions I had for all of us today, and if you're in the chat and you're on this show a bit later, definitely start thinking about these things. I learned that yesterday. I did a panel type charity stream yesterday as well, except it was like a 10-hour long stream.
Oh my god.
And I was a part of like a 2-hour part of that panel, and
Yeah.
I was watching them put this thing together, and I'm like, damn, I did this with like 3 people, and I'm fucking, my brain is mush. Like, and it was like so many people. But anyway, that's how I feel today. I'm like, I have like 8 screens around me and paper, and it's just a lot. But anyway,
You're doing an amazing job. Like, you know, I wouldn't feel like you're like, oh god. But that's the way it is with streaming a lot, isn't it? Especially when it's all technical, because stuff always goes wrong.
Always.
You
That's
don't
what
know
I'm worried
what.
about. Oh my gosh, Dracthonia just raided. I have my alert sounds off, but hello, friend. She is a friend in my charity team called the Underworld, Wreck-It Ravens charity team. Hello, friends. We are talking about endometriosis today. I'm doing a just chatting stream with a couple other endo streamers. This is Cat Strike, if you can't tell by the name on the screen. And we have a little bit more time with Cat Strike, I think. And it depends on a few other things. But Bat Pack. Oh my God, I love it. Oh my goodness.
Aww.
Well, welcome, Raiders. And Drac, what were you streaming today? And how was your stream? And thank you for your follow, Pitch Pit. If I miss anything, I do have my, like I said, I have my alert sounds off right now. So I'm definitely more likely to miss stuff, but I'm doing my best to pay attention. Cat Strike as in Among Us Cat Strike?
I think so.
You're like, maybe? I don't know.
I think that's me. Why don't you follow my channel and find out? No. Sorry, I was only joking.
No. That's why.
Can't help,
But that's what I, honestly, like, this is a huge part of it for me is, oh, thank you for the gifted sub. Oh my goodness. Thank you. And thank you for your follow. But the whole a collab thing, this isn't exactly a collab, but it's a version of a collab.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of growing on Twitch. And I'm just really sinking my teeth into this. And Dracthonia was actually a part of that one I was talking about yesterday. It was on Arthur Miss's channel. She did a show called Through Our Eyes, and it was all LGBT, LGBTQIA2+ people representing, and what it's like to be a streamer or a moderator, or it was a lot of different people. But Dracthonia was a part of that yesterday in my time slot with me, so that was really cool to get to know her. So again, thank you for bringing your community here. You're doing Phasmo. Drac, I did not realize you have endo too. How the fuck did I not know that? I'm a dick. How did I not know that? Maybe it didn't come up yesterday oh my goodness. I got to add you to my, so I have a Twitter. Yeah, it didn't come up. Oh my goodness. Well, now we know.
Damn.
I definitely want to do more endo chats like this in the future as well, because
Yeah.
not only does it spread awareness in general, but it brings communities together. Like I was saying, they're collaborative. Even though it's not like a project kind of collaborative, it's still collaborative at the end of the day. And hopefully, you know, us doing this brings some new people in for both of us. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like the more you know situation, you know? You can't really go wrong doing awareness.
No.
Ain't no way you
No,
guys gonna have the energy to cook. Oh, Dee, thank you so much for your dono. Did you say you bought dinner for us? Is that what happened? Oh, I don't have the Streamlabs notes up today because I need like 18 more screens to accomplish that. Oh yeah, buddy, he said. Oh, thank you, Dee. I appreciate you. Thank you for fixing my permissions. Because I'm a Discord noob, clearly.
Discord's
Oh.
hard though.
Yeah.
I had to have someone help me with it because
Yeah.
it's so complicated.
Errands need slaying and such. I understand. Thank you. If you ever want to join a podcast or collab on, absolutely, Drac. Absolutely. And what I was about to say was earlier this month, I started searching on Twitter, and that's how I found you, Kat. I literally started searching endometriosis and streamer and endometriosis in Twitch and just a couple other things, and endo warrior in Twitch and stuff like that. And that's literally how I found you. Because because I don't remember which version of that you have in your bio, but for whatever reason something popped up and that's how I found you. And I put this giant list of Twitter accounts together and I literally just called it Endo Streamers. And I need to add Dracthonia to that because the more you know. Dun, dun, dun. That's how you found me, Misty Meow. I didn't know that. I didn't know if I found you or if you found me. You just never know. Oh, Bot, thank you for the recommendation. I don't know how to do anything regarding color chroma key. I don't fuck with green screens. I'm a music streamer. Which doesn't music streamers do use green screens. I don't mean to blanket statement us, but I will say not many of us use green screens.
Just the audio element is technical enough, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good segue that you didn't even know I needed. So kind of regarding streaming, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's why I asked you here. And do you feel like you ever have, well, we all have trolls on Twitch. We all know this. We all have trolls. They happen for different reasons. Are you ever targeted in that type of way because you put endo out there like that?
I've been really lucky that I have never had a problem with it. It's something I worry about because in like UK media, like a lot of chronically ill people are like attacked by like right-wing media like Jamelia Jamil and stuff. She's got like EDS and she's got a bunch of issues and these people are often like attacked and seen as like they're faking it, they're making it up, and I'm more of worry about that happening, like people not believing me, but it's just because of the way I've been treated by the medical community. But right. I've been very lucky, and yeah, you just worry, don't you?
Yeah.
I've been very lucky, but I it's kind of sad, but I actually keep all of my medical letters as proof, just in case anyone tries to call me out. I'll say like, here's my history, and I shouldn't have to do that, but I do it anyway. But I've been very lucky. My community are so lovely and supportive, and they're just they're such nice people. And I've never been attacked for endo, thank God, because it's bad enough.
I think, yeah, and I've been really lucky in that way too, because I also put it out in all my bios and stuff, and I think for at least me, and it sounds like you too, is that our trolls happen more in real life than on Twitch regarding endo. Like if we're gonna have a troll, it's gonna be you're fat or you're ugly or you suck or shut up.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? I've had people come into my chat and say, you talk too much. It's like, get the fuck out of here. So I am glad that we're both pretty lucky in that way. And I was interested to see, because this came up in the chat I was a part of yesterday. And I want to see if anybody's had that particular experience, because I have yet, again, we're both
Yeah.
pretty lucky in that way. I have yet to have that issue. I've had Jen said in the chat, I've had people in real life tell me I talk too much on stage. They're like, oh, by the way, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, no. I feel like you've probably had people tell you talk too much too, at least on stream.
Yeah. Call me annoying. And I'm like, all right.
Well, you can take your annoying and look at my average view count and fuck off then. That's definitely that's the vibe, 100%. Oh, Beta, I'm glad you're able to sit there and get some painting done. Trish is downstairs painting as well. Oh, and since I said the word Trish out loud, normally she'd be a part of the stream. Like, she literally would be sitting here with me. She has her own mic arm with a mic right here, but obviously today's different. And anybody new here, I'm normally a music streamer. Hi. Normally I'd be streaming music. Thank you for the follows. I'm seeing them happening, and I think, does it say Pfizer? Or it says scissor. I think it says scissor. Thank you for your follow. And Empire and Better Dork. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, normally I'm a music streamer, but I also try to do chat streams here and there. This is my first ENDOCHAT, I think, of many. Aw, Sarah, you're sweet. Thank you. Close but no cupcake. Is it scissor? Thank you for your follow, Roscoe. Now I need to know. Tell me how to say your name. I thought it was Pfizer, but I think that's all.
It looks like Sizer.
Sizer?
Sizer?
Sizer, yep.
Oh, Sizer.
Good job.
Oh.
Good job. It's streamer brain. It's definitely hard. Like, the usernames.
I just guess them half the time. Like,
right. It's like,
you
I'm
can't
sorry.
read that fast. Because you're trying to play a game or do music or whatever, and then you see their name and you're like, flip, thank you.
And I have to have my chat so big on my screen normally. I have it like, because you can change the font size, and I have it like doubled. But not today. I have it just on my tablet at regular size today, so I'm like squinting at it like scissor. I don't know. But something else I wanted to ask also is, what advice do you have? And this could go for people with chronic illness, this could go for people without it, but what advice do you have surrounding chronically ill, the topic of chronically ill?
I had to think about this after you put the prompts in Discord, and I've got a couple. I'll try and explain them. I think the first one would be, if you have the means, consider therapy. If you're going through something that's like ongoing trauma, like dealing with extreme chronic pain, like, I can't afford therapy right now, but it's definitely something I want to do again. I did it before because I had depression, and it changed my life. And I think it's sometimes hard to have the tools yourself to cope with these things. And sometimes you have to be on your own and deal with it, or people don't understand. And I think just having that, someone to help you, I don't know, I just think it's really valuable if you have the means to do it. Like, definitely consider it. Don't feel like you shouldn't, or that you're not going through enough or anything like that. And kind of related is like enjoying the little things and celebrations. Something I used to do a lot is practice thankfulness, because I've read a lot, happiness is a skill, not a destination. You don't just get happy, you have to work at being happy. And so when I used to have this job that I hated, I would write down what I was thankful for every day, even if it was just the sun shining or I had a coffee. And with endo, after my second operation, even though I still need more surgery and stuff, I have a lot of my life back. And even just cooking a meal, I feel happy that I can do that and I'm not in pain. And when I got married, all I wanted was to walk down the aisle pain-free. And so it was just like enjoying that I got to do that. And it's also, another thing is getting your power back. So by doing things like fundraising, supporting other people, like I try and help other people with endo. I've talked to countless people on Twitter, emails, just trying to give them advice. And it gives you that power back, like what you're doing. I've been raising money for an ENDOCHAT in the UK as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you that power back. Like, you're actually giving back to something that's taken so much from you in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And my last point would be, just don't give up. Things can seem like they're never going to get better, but with the right healthcare, they can. And as long as you keep trying, that's all you can do. And sometimes you have to accept that you have limits. And that's very frustrating, but you have to work with yourself. As cheesy as that sounds, it's like just knowing that, okay, if I go to a big shop and want to go out for the day, the next day I'm going to just have to be in bed, and that's okay. That's just the way I work. And it's just keeping going, because it can get better. And it does if you know, I don't know. Sorry.
That's fine. This is fine.
Keep them going.
It's the marching. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't mind me with my Kleenex up my nose. Allergies. It's just struggle bus. Yeah, those are all really incredible pieces of advice. And yeah, once you get used to starting counting spoons, it very much gets easier. Regarding the thankfulness, that's something that I think I started doing probably a couple of years ago, not literally like on paper, but always trying to see the silver lining, because it's really, really easy. Like you said, it's really easy to get down about how much pain you're in at any given time, or you make plans and then have to cancel them, or you make plans and now more or less in COVID land, it's make plans for a stream, but you got to cancel it. Because to be honest, COVID's just given me a reason to not have to cancel plans. And there's no lie. I'm never going to feel bad about canceling plans ever again. And unfortunately for me, the pandemic kind of validated that. And I know there are other people in my life who don't even have a chronic illness who have felt that way. but I also know people with chronic illness who feel that way too. And it's like, I'm grateful for that alone, but sometimes I have to definitely go out of my way to be like, okay, like today actually is a good example. I am dealing with some weird audio issues on a day that like depends on more than just me, myself, and I playing music, you know? And it's like, okay, but everything else is okay. Like I'm grateful that I feel like I got to knock on wood real quick. Sorry if that was loud. I don't know if you could even hear it, but I just feel like everything else is working, and I'm grateful for that kind of thing. Or else I'll freak out. It's so easy to lose sight of. Just be grateful. Your fucking ring light's working. Okay, bitch. Like it's good. It's fine. Like everything's working. It's definitely you heard the knock on wood. Thank you for your follow, Smiley Fusion.
What audio issue are you having? I can help.
Maybe it's possible. So I have an Audio Box 96, a PreSonus Audio Box 96, and it has been making this ringing sound lately. And I think that if it were in the literal stream, I think people would be like, yo, there's a ringing. Like, can you hear a ringing coming from me or anything?
No.
Yeah, and it's really throwing me for a loop because I hear it and I feel like I'm crazy.
Is it when you use Discord? Is it only during certain programs, or is it just all the time?
It's all the time, and I did all the things you do. As somebody I'm relatively good with technology, so you do all the things you do, restart, look for updates, do all the things. There was even a thing, a firmware update for it. And it's like, I was like, oh, please be the thing that fixes it. And it's still here. So it's like, I've been having some issues with that today. And it's just like, it wears you down. It's little stuff, but it just wears it down. It wears you down. Meaning, I have an echo. Sometimes I hear it, but sometimes I don't. Oh yeah. Trish thinks it's because, so I actually use my on-stage in-ears. And they have really solid response. You hear an echo too, really? Oh, I don't know why. On my end, it does. There's nothing. So, hey, listen. If y'all can understand me and we're telling our stories the way we need to, I can't be mad.
People might have you open in 2 tabs, maybe, or because my sisters, a bunch of them don't hear an echo.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I don't. Or you know what's even funny? Wait, you know what? So my video might go away for a second, but no. See, like I have my dashboard open too, and I was like, maybe my video's playing. It's not. So I don't know. There we go. We might have paused for yeah, we did pause for a second. If you don't have Discord video on top, it fucking doesn't work, which is really annoying, which is why you need like 18 different monitors to accomplish something like this.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna check Discord for a reason real quick. Yeah, it's looking like we have a little bit more time. So, and also I want to say this, uh, Paige, if you're in the chat, Mind of Paige, if you want to come on a little early, you're more than welcome to hop into the waiting room whenever you'd like to, because like I mentioned toward the beginning of this, there has been one streamer, unfortunately, that hasn't made contact today, last couple days. So it's kind of just like, here we are, like just kind of is what it is. So if you're listening, Paige, feel free to jump in early if you want to. But I'm having a grand old time with Kat as well. So I'm here. I've been trying to hype myself up.
Oh, Paige, I felt like that, a bit nervous.
Yeah, well, it's always hard. Like you want to. It's like recording a podcast, right? Like you want to let the conversation just flow naturally, but also there are certain talking points too. And so it's on top of running something like this, which if y'all aren't a streamer in the chat, just know how much goes into something like this, how much planning and how much building in OBS and stuff like that. And yeah, streamers, you see us for the amount of time that we're on stream, but you don't see the other fucking, I don't know, 20 hours a week that we put in to networking and doing collabs and building new stuff in OBS and resting in most endo streamers' cases. And that's one of my biggest things. And you mentioned this before, and I kind of wanted to circle around to it, which was that you definitely, you have set your boundary. You mentioned your boundary with 3 hours being your time. And what was it like before you were trying to set that boundary?
So basically, I've been doing Twitch for quite a long time, and if I'd have stayed consistent, I would have probably been partnered by now and,
wow.
done a bit better. But what kind of happened was before my second surgery, when I was in pain all the time, I just couldn't sit in my chair. It was in too much pain all the time. So I just stopped streaming for about a year. I just kind of took a load of time off. Sorry, hit my mic. And then when I could, it's because I gesticulate so much.
Okay.
And oh god, I'm sorry. Right, I'm sorry. It's I just sorry. I get into streamer mode where I get all hyper.
I get it.
It's like
I get it.
back down. But when I came back and I moved to Bristol, I decided that once I was better, I was just gonna try and go hard at streaming no matter what. And I've sort of learned. I try and do 4 streams a week, but often I'll get a migraine at the weekend if I do that, or I'm just in pain, or I'm just tired. So usually I at least do 3 streams, and having a boundary there, I plan my time a lot more throughout the week to just balance my time more. I'm not very good with managing spoons. I try and do the approach of building a ladder. So, you see how you feel when you wake up, and it's just about maybe I'll get dressed. Maybe I'll have a cup of tea and just see how far I can get. And sometimes if it's a bad day, I'll get to streaming, and sometimes I might not, but that's okay. If you have a bad day, you have a bad day. But having that at least just 3 hours, 3 times a week if I can, that helps. And I miss less streams doing that. Whereas when I push myself too much, you just end up canceling more. And then streaming is all about consistency. And it has just fucked me over so much because I had my viewers up to like 60 last month, and then because I missed like a week and a half because I wasn't well, I've gone back down to 40 average. And you know how long does it take to grow 20 average views? It's hard.
It is.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, so it's good managing it.
You apologize too much. Have you been told that?
I know,
before?
I can't help it. Yeah, I get told that all the time. I don't know why I do it.
You're so nice. Stop it right now, ma'am. But yeah, I agree. And the battery chicken just said the same thing. The algorithm totally ruins your life. And I was talking to Damon Archie earlier, like separately, and a private DM is like the consistency of Twitch. Like the algorithm is amazing if you can stay consistent. Yeah. And even doing this chat stream today, and that's a whole other level of anxiety. You know that changing your content fucks with your average, right? So I desperately want to do stuff like this and bring awareness, but it's like, oh God, I've worked so hard for where I am right now. What if I drop a couple points? Because like you said, how long it takes to get back up to that number sometimes really fucks with my head. And it's frustrating as somebody who I'm kind of also bad at managing spoons, but it depends on the day
Yeah.
because some days I'll wake up very, very aware of my spoonage, if you will. And I don't know what to call it.
No, you're right. I know what you meant on you.
And so some days I'll wake up and be like, I am going to stream, but I literally can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Like, there's no version of me being able to do any cleaning or cooking or even just sitting here at my desk, which is my streamer nest, which is what Beta calls it, because it is taxing for me to sit here in a computer chair, upright, looking at screens. Like it's taxing, and so it's hard to make sure that you're doing all the right things, but also conserving spoons if you even had any.
Yeah.
And that was me. What, Friday? I think I woke up and I was like, dude, I literally have to sit on the couch until I stream, or else I'm in trouble. Molly,
I do that
you
a
in
lot.
danger.
I do that. If I know I've got a stream, you have to be careful not to waste your energy, right? You've got to conserve it. And then even then, it might not be enough.
Yeah.
You know, you could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really hard to balance, isn't it? Oh, sorry. I just talked over you.
No. It's okay. I am trying to stay like on top of my follows and stuff. Thank you. It's CJS, maybe. I can't read it. I'm blind is what I've learned today. CJs, thank you so much. You donated to Endo as well as hosted. Thank you so much. I appreciate any amount that anybody can donate. And thank you for your follow bot. It sounded like I said follow bot. Thank you for your follow bot. And yeah, the conserving spoons, and EBX Jen in the chat has also said this. She deals with chronic pain because of an injury, not because of a disease, but she shattered her hip bone a couple years ago. So ongoing, yeah. And trust me, she's like my BFF. This is common knowledge, and I'm sure she's fine with just at least me saying that. But so she deals with chronic pain in a whole other way due to an injury, and yeah, she does suspect chronic. That's fair. You do suspect chronic illness, but the chronic pain part is something that like all of us can relate to. It's just, I feel like so many people either have a chronic illness or even just an injury that's caused chronic pain. It's like just putting that vocabulary of having spoons, I feel like is really important to put into people's brains. And what do you use instead? I almost said chicken battery chicken. I'm interested to find out because people definitely have different verbiage, have different vocabulary to describe. And I think it's important for people to communicate about their energy levels and also people to understand. Like you said, your husband is so incredibly understanding. My partner, Trish, is so incredibly understanding. She also has, kind of like Jen, she has a chronic injury and also suspected chronic illnesses. So it's, and one diagnosed chronic illness, but thinks there's more because, you know, all of us millennials are just a fucking stew of chronic diseases. I feel like we all got totally screwed in that way. We were all brought up on margarine and Kraft singles.
Look what it did to us.
Right. Like it's true.
It's funny what you said about your best friend having a chronic injury because my best friend has a chronic injury. She shattered her knee into 9 pieces. And so she will never fully heal from that. And like, so she lives with chronic knee pain. So we'll like go for our walks. And it's like, are you okay today, girl? Are you okay? You know, oh, we can't go out for our walk. It's too cold. Our joints hurt. You know, so it's nice you have that like camaraderie with someone. Like you just have someone that understands even just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many of my friends really do deal with chronic pain, chronic illness. And thank you for your host, Lance. And it's like good, like you said, you have somebody to relate to, but it's also like so sad. Yeah. Because I feel like so many, and this is such a huge blanket statement, but in my experience was that so many millennials and even zillennials, Gen Xers are having these problems so early in their lives. Like, yeah. Whereas boomers, and again, huge blanket statement. This is only my own experience because this is a giant blanket statement warning. I just feel like boomers didn't start to have issues until they were in like their 50s. So they're like, well, what do you mean there's something wrong with you? You're 30. the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, you guys are probably brought up on a little bit healthier foods than us, and you weren't eating chemicals constantly. Like, yeah, it's a good thing to be able to relate to people, but at the same time, it's just a really sad reality. But
yeah.
But anyway, I was gonna say, Paige has been waiting in the wings since I told her she could. So I want to give you back the rest of your day. I know it's kind of late for you, isn't it?
It's not too bad. It's 9 p.m.
Oh, okay, so, that's good.
Yes.
That's
it's not
good.
like 1 a.m.
I knew it wasn't like late, but that's why I wanted to get you on first, is because I did not want you stuck and yawning and yeah. Oh, thank you for your follow, Davis. I appreciate that.
I appreciate the consideration, and thank you so much for having me on to chat. I'm sorry I went on a bit of a rant, but you know, it's like the floodgates open and you're just like, whoa, it's just, oh my God, someone to talk to about this. So, you know, I listened to your story as well before I came on, and you're doing amazing there, and like setting up all of this, like raising awareness. Like it's hard to do this, and especially dealing with the illness that you deal with, and I know what that's like.
Literally,
it's fucking hard. And doing music and everything, I don't know, you're just doing amazing, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. I've had a really nice time.
Well, thank you so much, and I can't wait. And anybody in the chat who wants to go see and hang out with Kat on her channel, if you wouldn't mind anybody either doing the panel command or doing a shout out for Kat Strike, that would be lovely, because it'll have her link in it. All of the craziest, amazing energy while playing. I was going to say you play horror games, but you also play like just in general, like adventure, like I think FPS too. Yeah.
Little bit more like I do a lot of like Fallout Bethesda games. So like, just because they're easy to, you can just do whatever you want.
Fair enough.
You know.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are happy with, you know, like Kat's vibes, definitely go check her out. We're gonna switch over, and I'm gonna get Mind of Paige up next. So bear with me while I switch over. Make sure my Discord is in check, because I did not have that shit together this time, but I'm hoping that it goes a little bit better this next time. And thank you, Kat. Thank you for taking the time and coming to be here. I really, really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much.
All
love
right.
to do it again.
Yeah, and absolutely, I will be definitely doing this again, and you will absolutely be somebody on my list to get back with again. So we will stay in touch.
Yes.
Oh,
definitely.
Jen, no, she doesn't know about the. So actually, none of them know about the hat. Hold on. Oh shit, Trish moved the hats. Okay, so Jen made hats that say Saving Spoons on them, and they're yellow. She does crochet work. And I decided I wasn't sure what to do with them. And they're yellow crochet, and they say Saving Spoons on them. And she had the idea of sending them to all the people who participated in this chat today. And so I don't know where they are, because we cleaned, and I legitimately don't know where they are at this moment, if they're even in this room. But I will tweet out a picture at you guys, because I'll obviously need to get your addresses, but I want to send one to you as a thank you. And EBX Jen in the chat is the one who made them, and in donation.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, they turned out really well. If I can get my shit together to find them here, I'll show it on screen in the process of switching over here. But yeah, thank you again, Jen, for that. They're so fucking cute, and if I can find them, I'll put one on. They're around somewhere. But again, Kat, have a lovely evening. Thank you for joining us, and I will be talking to you soon in chat.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. Where is Disc? Oh, wait. There it is. There it
Oh.
is. She was hiding.
Yeah, hello, it's me.
Hello, Paige. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Thanks for
course.
doing this.
I honestly, you did the very, very mostest when it came to like doing promo with me.
That's what I do best.
Yeah,
Just
no.
kidding.
No, you did a great job of that. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
You did a lot of retweeting, a lot of other shit. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's no problem.
So, oh, thanks. Trish did a shout out for you already. So this is Mind of Paige, if you haven't already gathered that. So let's start out. Like I said, we talked about the prompts that I threw into Discord. So let's start out with your preferred name, your preferred pronouns, a brief channel info.
Okay, I am Paige. Mind of Paige. I never know what to say, but here we are. I am an absolute unit of absurdity. I am chaotic Aries energy. I go by she, her pronouns. I thank you, Jen. I have chat right here so I can see everything too.
Yeah. I'm listening, I promise.
So yeah, you can just call me Paige, or you can call me Mind, or whatever you want to call me. I'm a variety streamer. I do play a lot of horror games, though. I'm obsessed with Animal Crossing. It's kind of my jam, especially right now. I have 600 plus hours clocked into it. It's too much.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I just am constantly aggressively loving my friends, and it's fucking awesome. That's what I do on my channel. I'm constantly there to support and there to be your friend and there to, shoot the shit and just hang out and do the things. So that's my channel if you guys want to come.
You're like, finger guns.
Finger guns I am the living embodiment of finger guns. So.
So you mentioned that you're horror variety in a lot of ways. What are some of the games that you have played on your channel?
So I'm actually about to start Little Nightmares. I have to finish Alien Isolation because I started it, and then something happened in my personal life, and it's too high anxiety for me to be able to get into it without me throwing myself into a panic. But I have to finish Alien Isolation. I've played the Resident Evil series. I have done, I don't even remember off the top of my head. I've played Dark Deception, which is a maze runner horror game. Just basically anything to get me screaming because I am a little puss baby and I'm constantly screaming on stream and it's so entertaining. I look back at my VODs and I'm like, what? Why did you even scream? It wasn't that big of a deal, girl.
I am constantly, what's funny about that is I connect deeply with horror variety streamers because that's how I started streaming. I was not a music streamer. I was like, I'm going to play horror games. And then I was like, oh, I guess if I want to use Twitch the way I should probably use it, I should probably do music.
Yeah.
But eventually I want to get back into horror variety because it's where my heart is. So I have a huge place in my life for horror. And so I love when I find other horror geeks as well.
I love spooky. Spooky is my life. I will do anything spooky, and it's you put me there, and that's my comfort zone. That's where you'll find me the most relaxed, which is the total opposite of everybody else. So
honestly, no, same though. I mean, I live. Oh, you can't see it because my mic's in the way, but I live with Ghostface and a Ouija board chilling over there.
Yes, yeah, nice.
There's Leslie Vernon's over there. Got a gas mask, got a little xenomorph. Just.
Yeah, I've seen your little spooky vibe going, girl.
Yeah.
I've seen your bats hanging in the background and everything.
Right. Normally, you can't tell it's a blanket hanging over a window. Well, let me just... I didn't notice that until you said that. Now I have to, stay in screen. Okay. So anyway, yeah, spooky bitches unite. So with that, so I also, by the way, I think that based on my current schedule, we have approximately an hour, but I don't want you to feel stressed about that. I just wanted to let you know where we are because of the schedule, the little bit of the schedule change that we have there.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine because I know you're streaming at 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so it gives me because I'll be out of here at 5, so it'll give me an hour to like eat and prepare for my stuff too.
Perf. That's
Getting
why
in
I
my
was
comfy
like,
pants.
I don't want to stress you out or anything.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, obviously, the fact that we are endo streamers, coined endo streamers. So, and this can be as long winded as you want. Kat was all worried about telling the long version of shit, but we have time. So, what is your endo story or your endo diagnosis story?
Okay, so mine starts at the ripe young age of 13. I started my my men's cycle on my 13th birthday, and then 4 months later, I actually had my first surgery for exploratory laparoscopy to check. The gyno that I was seeing, they were actually my mother's gynecologist. So my mother has endometriosis herself, or had it herself, and then there's multiple people on my dad's side as well that have it. We're an endo family, literally by blood.
Wow.
Yeah. So he knew the signs to look for, and when he went in, they ended up finding some endometriosis that had attached and damaged like my fallopian tubes and my rectum and everything, because
Wow.
travels everywhere. So they put me on a pill to try and suppress my hormones. And then 6 months later, I actually had a second surgery. And that's when I got diagnosed as stage 3, which is like a moderate case. So then they put me on the Depo-Provera shot, which Kat was talking about, which it was like the estrogen blocker completely. I was on that for 6 years.
Oh, man. As a
So
teenager?
yes, yep.
Oh,
So
boy.
I got put on it just before I turned 14 and was on it for 6 years. So that was one of the
Yeah.
hardest parts of puberty, I think, was the fact that I couldn't go through puberty,
Wow.
because it was just, so it is what it is. I've had 5 laparoscopies total, my latest being in October of last year, actually. And then I'm actually supposed to have another one this year. And when they went in, the last time they actually removed 11 separate endometrium cells throughout my body, and they went all the way up to both my kidneys.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a lot in there. So I mean, it is what it is. That's my story. It's not exciting. It's not excitable. It's
Well,
awful, but
I would say it's not supposed to be exciting per se, but
yeah.
that's definitely so. And obviously, you're a little bit younger than me, and so I don't know. Maybe if that has to do with just the way the times are changing, that people might be a little quicker to diagnose endometriosis now.
Yeah.
Because when I started my period, I think 11. I was about to turn 12, because I remember, like, it's interesting, like how you remember the day you started, and you probably would remember it even if it wasn't your birthday. But like,
Yeah.
I remember I started on Thanksgiving of just randomly. And it was terrible, and it was so awkward, and I was at my grandparents' house, and anyway. But
One thing I'm not thankful for is becoming a woman at this moment.
exactly. I had a skirt on. It was stressful AF, okay? It was so stressful. And so this was when was I 11? I was 11 in 2000. Hi.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was only 4. I was just a
Yeah.
tiny little bean.
Just a little beep. So like, I started having super painful periods, and I guess this isn't something I've talked about. I talk about the last 8 years or so of my endo story. I actually never tend to talk about the rest of it. And so in that way we are similar, which is that I had, as soon as I like turned 12, basically from like 12 to 13 was a fucking struggle bus. And this was 20 years ago, which wasn't that long ago, but long enough ago to where when my doctors told my parents that their 12-year-old needed to go on birth control, my dad was like, the fuck she is? What? Because this was not anything anybody had experienced, really.
Yeah, and my parents were the same way too, because like they, when my mom was pretty young when she got diagnosed too, and that was like, unheard of back in the day. So, they knew what to expect, but they weren't expecting them to like put me on such a strong hormonal birth control, such as Depo-Provera or anything, where it's literally like destroys your body. So, yeah, it's just.
I've heard horror stories about that. I can't. Huh. So like did you literally not go through puberty until like you were off of it? Like how did that affect your body, I suppose?
Okay. So I ended up gaining a lot of weight from the shot. Obviously, like it can make your breasts grow or whatever. I went from like a B to a double D in less than a year. So it was like fast growth, uncomfortable growth. I gained like 50 pounds within the first year. It honestly like destroyed my mental health, and like still to this day, because I was on it for so long, like that's something I still struggle with, is the things that came with it mentally, because I had issues before, but when I got put on the birth control, it like escalated it tenfold. It was like the depression was
Oof.
so heavy as a child, and like the anxiety, and like the anxiety that came with the constant pain, like always being in pain, like being at a point in my life where it's already difficult, being a teenager and going through puberty, and like being in middle school and everyone's changing and growing, and it's like on top of that I'm also dealing with these things that people don't see and don't understand, because at those ages, nobody understands anything about puberty, let alone a reproductive disease. So it was like I was at a point where I felt like really alone too, because I was so young. So I'm thankful now to have met people like you and the other endo streamers. Even to this day, I don't really know a whole lot of people that are willing to talk about endometriosis the way that you guys are. A lot of people, like you were talking about earlier, the trauma, a lot of people just, they just would rather avoid it completely, especially in this area. I kind of am in like a conservative, like to yourself area, farmland. So it's like nobody talks about it here ever.
Which is funny because you're like an hour away from me.
Yeah, we're so close. It's so crazy. It's like fate. It's destiny.
We're
supposed
literally,
to be friends.
yeah, we're literally like not even really an hour away, or so. Like, which is, yeah, it's a small world. When you said that, I was like, wait, I'm in Michigan. Wait,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
I never in Twitch world, you don't really accidentally meet people rarely even in the same time zone, let alone the same area of the world. And so it was really exciting, and I would say that you're not alone in the fact that nobody wants to talk about it. And
Yeah.
yes, of course, it has to do with the fact that you're in a more rural area, but honestly, it's only changed a little bit in anywhere else, because when I started doing awareness about endometriosis, my family, generally my family, not so much my friends, but my family was very, why are you talking about your uterus on Facebook? It's
Yeah.
very taboo.
It's so like taboo. It's so taboo, especially for women to talk about themselves in that way. And because it is, it's so not known. Like people are just now hearing about it. Like within the past 5 years, they just started putting commercials out for endometriosis. And I was like, when that started happening, I was like, whoa.
And people were texting me like, have you heard about this? Yes. And that new drug called Orilissa. I've not heard great things about it, but
they wanted to put me on it, and I was like, no thanks, I don't want that.
Yeah, a lot of people will come to me and ask me about it, but the fact of the matter is, it's still experimental. It's not it's not something that anybody knows like shit about yet. Really, it's very, very new.
Yeah.
And you also have to give up anything else you're currently on. You have to switch over to it, and that's yikes.
Yeah.
And so let alone talking about your uterus or your cervix or your ovaries on social media, it's like, wow, like, yeah, we're finally talking about the word. But like, it's interesting because you and Kat have in common that your mothers both had it. And for me, well, my family is pretty old in age in general, not a lot of Gen Xers even. I think most of my aunts and uncles are pretty much borderline boomers and boomers and up at this point. So like talking about health, like period.com is just, oh my God, you said the word cervix. Oh my God. What they don't even know what their fucking cervix is. Like whatever. So it's fine. So it's interesting. And the fact of the matter is that until I started talking about it, I didn't know that it ran in my fucking family. It literally runs in my family. And
it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you about this incurable chronic condition that runs in the family that you could potentially have. It just slipped my mind.
Yeah, and it's not my mom's fault. My mom is actually quite progressive about talking health. It was actually my dad's side, and I'm not gonna throw too many people under the bus, but there's multiple people in my family who have it and who have been diagnosed and are still to this day embarrassed that I talk about it. And it's like,
so
you're
crazy.
You're part of the problem, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like it's not anything to ever be embarrassed about. We're just different, and we're just, like everybody's different in their own way, and this is just a burden that we have to carry. And there's nothing wrong with being completely transparent about it, because there are other people in this world like you and me and Kat and Bloodstain, or well, I can't remember. I don't know exactly what her name is. I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's just like my family, I have multiple people in my family that talk about it too, and they've always talked about it, but I feel like the difference with them is that it's always been really competitive with them, which is so strange. So my cousin, she actually we got diagnosed around the same time. She's a little bit older than me, about a year and a half. And like, it was always a comparison between us two, because she like had more, of the issues that came along with it, like the adhesions and the cysts. Like, she has polycystic ovarian syndrome as well, so I was always treated as like lesser in the severity, because I didn't have as much of the secondary problems that went along with it, but I had all of the pain, whereas hers was like tolerable enough to be able to get through it. So it's like really weird, the dynamic when it comes to endometriosis for I don't know. It's just everyone's different, I guess.
yeah, and that's why I started to say this even when talking to Kat, is that I tend to make blanket statements about whole generations, because it's unfortunately just been my experience, but you've had a different experience. And that's wonderful that they were a little bit more willing to talk about it. And I will say, one of my aunts had a similar kind of surgery situation like me. And so she did tell the family straight up, I was diagnosed with this. That's what happened. And I had a surgery because of a cyst. Very similar to my story, but that was like, period, it. Yeah. And I think she only told us because a holiday happened while she was recovering. And so it affected like the family plans, because guess who can't wear pants? Like, because she had a laparoscopic surgery. So I feel like, and even in that way, she wouldn't have talked about it. And she was just forced to talk about it, because she literally was in front of the family during her 3 weeks.
And she had to explain herself.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm glad that you've had a better experience with at least that part. And I do hope that as the generations, happen, that it was, say you have kids, you're going to talk about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Like if anybody with endo right now, as a Gen X or a millennial or younger is going to have kids, I think more than likely we're going to just be like, listen, I made the choice to have kids, and unfortunately this is going to affect you. Maybe it won't, but maybe it will. And it's something to look out for, because when I started having, like you said, like the periods were so bad. It's
They're
like
awful.
Nobody knows, unless you've lived it, what it's like to be on a trip with your class at 13 or 14 and be sobbing in an overnight Greyhound and begging your teachers to stop somewhere so you could just like sit on a toilet and cry. Like, nobody knows what that's like.
Yeah, it's a completely different struggle than I can't even put it into words. I'm sorry, I'm awful with words. No. It's just like, people don't see behind the curtain of what we experience day to day. So, you can take care of that, right? Go ahead.
I was not about to cut you off. Kevy, thank you for bringing your community here. Hello. We're talking about endometriosis today. I'm doing a very special endometriosis awareness panel. I'm going to call it a panel, even though we're not all on it once. Hello, welcome Raiders. I have my alerts turned off. If I miss a follow or something crazy, is happening. I have missed things because my sound is off because it's sometimes intrusive for talking, for chatting streams like this. But thank you so much. We are discussing uteri, correct? Is that a thing? Is that how you say multiple uteruses? I am here for a few minutes. Aw, thank you so much, Casey, for hanging out. Aw, that's sweet of you to stop by. And Kevy, how was your stream? What were you streaming today? What were you doing? And how was your stream? Because I know you've brought your community here before. I appreciate you for bringing again. And thank you for your follow, Woof Chew. I like your name. That's a great name. Woof Chew. I dig it. I always love the raids after the raid. Fall Guys. Oh, you got a crown. Dude, how many hours? So was that your first crown, Kevy? And if it wasn't your first crown, also congratulations. But was that your first crown? And how long did it take you to get it? It was not your first crown. Holy crap. You are a player of the Fall Guys. Because I know it takes a long time to get a crown. But congrats on your crown today. That's amazing.
Yes, congratulations.
That's amazing. I'm like blown out of the water. I've known like two streamers I know of who I follow have gotten crowns, but I know it takes a long time. 2 crowns ever. Casey, oh my goodness. We are all for the uteri acting properly. Yeah, ours don't. Ours straight up don't play by the rules. Which is why we're talking about uteri today.
Yes.
He wins crowns every day now. What? That's crazy. Oh my goodness.
It's a freaking pro right there, buddy.
Yeah, I don't win games ever. If I even finish a short story horror game, I'm like, yes. Took me 3 hours. Yes. That's me with gaming. Well, thank you again, Kevy, for being here. I appreciate it. And to anybody who has never been here before, or even if you have been here before, like I said, we're doing a special episode stream. You can tell that I'm like an ex-podcaster. We're doing a special stream today on endometriosis awareness. I have guests on all afternoon. Cat Strike was on earlier for about an hour. This is Mind of Paige, if you can't tell by the title right there. She's on right now, and I will have Becca Green Eyes on just a little bit later to close the show out. But yeah, so we're talking about endometriosis and basically how it affects everything. I am an endometriosis sufferer as well as everybody on the show today. So yeah, that one time you thought Emily, oh my God, I never finished Emily Wants to Play. Have you played that, Paige?
No, but I wanted to.
Dude,
I wanted to. It looks so good.
You want some screams, bro? That's how you get them. That I made a compilation of scares because I had so many scares in one stream. I have a 10-minute compilation. No, 15-minute compilation from just playing that game.
We love a good scare compilation.
Yes. Paige has the best screams. Yeah, I would recommend if you want some good jump scares, some good screams, go for Emily Wants to Play.
I'll have to definitely check it out for sure.
But anyway, good way to segue is that obviously endo affects everything. How do you work, if you do work it into your content, how do you work it into your content, and how does it affect your streaming in general, having endo?
Well, I actually just started streaming last year in September, so excuse me. I'm still a fairly new streamer, and my surgery was in October of last year too. So from the moment that I got on this site, I've been advocating for endometriosis and just like bringing awareness to it, because I've always had my personal platforms that I use to advocate for it, and like, my birthday's at the end of this month, so it's like I was born to advocate for this. I got it. My birthday's at the end of the month, like the big bang. So I have been talking about endo for as long as I've been streaming. I've been talking about it in my personal life for as long as I've had it. My senior year of high school, I actually did my senior project, which is a project you have to do to graduate on endometriosis. So I really just try to bring it into life and not make it so taboo, because it is my reality. This is the life that I live. And, being within my stream, that's kind of like my little world that I have, like my little community. So just being completely transparent about what I'm feeling and what I'm going through and the kind of pain that I experience. Thank you, Jen. I just seen that you said happy early birthday. Yeah, so I also kind of took your little spoons idea and put that on my stream as well, because there are some days when I am just so beat, so knackered from just exhausting my spoons from basic daily tasks and needs that I just can't bring the kind of energy that I want to bring to stream. And I feel like I over explain myself a lot when it comes to that while I'm streaming. I feel like I have to explain myself and apologize for being this way. But I'm trying to create an environment where there's no apologies for being who you are. And this is who I am and what I deal with. So yeah, that's just talking about it and raising awareness, raising money, doing charities.
And it's amazing. And you also ran a campaign for EndoFound, didn't you?
Yeah, I ran one this month through Tiltify instead of the Streamlabs, and we had a $200 donation goal, and somebody donated anonymously $200, so we're like way past that now. I'm at $388, I think, which is crazy. I never expected to raise that much.
Oh, listen, I can relate.
Oh my gosh,
You're like,
I remember. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I was popped in and I was like, wow, we are so close.
And then it just was like Duncan just like blew it out. It's like, okay, goodbye then.
Yeah, mic drop right up in your chat.
Yeah, literally, his name is Mike. Mike dropped it. And oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, the Streamlabs thing. I actually used Streamlabs for the first time, and it was just because I wanted to know how to use it. That's the whole reason. I would normally use Tiltify, but Streamlabs has its own charity function now, and EndoFound is listed on it. And that's literally the only reason I did it. But I like how it looks, and it's a little slow still. It doesn't quite update very quickly.
Yeah, it's not instantaneous, which sucks because when you get a huge donation, you want it to like drop right then and there, and you're like, but I love tone.
And at least the Streamlabs alert still says something. It's just that function. I can't do it because I'm like not in the middle of the screen anymore. That part right there doesn't update very quickly. The actual bar. But to your point, like I didn't know what to expect when fundraising because I'm also new. I mean, I started at the end of April. Like I'm just now coming up on my 1 year. And
I know, 1 year. Wow.
Yeah, like
1 year doing amazing things on this platform.
Aw, thank you. And honestly, I'm amazed because there's I feel like I'm just gonna like brag about Twitch for a second. Or not, no, I'm just gonna like basically. Yeah, I was literally built for streaming. Oh, thank you for your follow, Celtic Raider. We were in Arthremis's chat yesterday together. I recognize your name. But oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna like pump up Twitch for a second because like I was talking to Kat about the algorithms, right? And like how they can work hugely in our favor. But as people with chronic illnesses, it's very stressful because it relies on your consistency, and we tend not to be the most consistent people because we have to prioritize our health, and canceled streams happen and it fucks up the algorithm. And and like even me doing this event, it's an off day doing not in my own category. It scares the shit out of me to do something like this, and I'm hugely grateful that I've been able to raise this amount of money. And to your point, just like finding people to be in your community who just genuinely want to help. Like,
yes,
it's so crazy to me that just people are like this generous. And I'm not quick to brag, but like I'm blown away.
You crushed that shit.
Yeah.
You crushed that shit. All right. You did. I remember the beginning of the month when you were like, yeah, I'm doing this for the month. I have endo. Like I was like in that chat or in your chat, like the first day, like on top of it, I was like, girl, I am here for you. You are doing this. And look at all that you've done. Look at all the great things you've done. You've raised so much money. You've spread so much awareness. Yes. Crushed that shit. Casey, correct. But you've done so much good for this. And like the fact that you say that you're out of your element, I think you are in your element and you are killing it. Like you are doing an incredible job. And I'm so proud of you.
Aw, thank you. And ditto.
You're welcome.
And especially being new to a platform. Like you're only a little bit newer to the platform than I am. And it's just so huge that people just come out of the woodwork and and donate. Like there are people who have donated hundreds and hundreds of dollars that I didn't know a year ago. I certainly didn't
Yeah.
maybe even know them 6 months ago. And they've made such a huge impact on my streams and such a huge impact on the charity amount that I was able to raise. Like you said, you saw me the first day. I'm like, 1K is too high. I'm sweaty and I'm never going to make it. And 1K is too much.
And you have doubled it.
Yeah.
Doubled.
Yeah.
Love that. I
Yeah.
love that so much.
I know. And I'm really proud of the community. And Damon Arcade, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's a lot of people, is that the word endometriosis is like incredibly just unknown, I feel like. Wait, 100. Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I missed it. I can't. Oh my gosh. I see the word death at the top of my screen. Oh my goodness. Hello and thank you for your dono. $100. Holy
That's
shit.
incredible.
I don't have Streamlabs open at the moment. Death, please say something so I can know who you are. I just see Death. At the top up there, I just see Death. Oh my god, Death God Shido? Is that what it is? Oh my goodness. Oh my god, there you are.
Yes.
There you are in chat. Thank you so much. I'm sweating.
You.
Sweat. You know how we get sweaty when things happen. It's a real thing. Streamer sweat.
100%. It's like you can't see it, but inside we're like, oh my god.
Right. Oh my god. Thank you, Death. Is it Death God Shido? Thank you. And there's Becca in chat. Green Eyes is our final guest for today. If y'all didn't know, that's Becca. Oh, Trish gifted to Death God Shido. Thank you so much for that gifted sub. And something else, like I just can't wait to continue doing awareness, and like I want to continue doing these chats even though it won't be March anymore. And I do think it would be okay to do like a roundtable version of this. I was just kind of scared about it, but now that I'm into this and I'm like, one-on-one is great, yes, but at the same time I would still like to be able to talk to everybody at once. So we'll see how that goes. I do want to do that.
Well, I'm totally down for it whenever. I love talking about it and advocating for it. So like I'm there for you always.
Thank you. And ditto, if you
Yeah.
ever do anything, obviously I'm here.
Definitely.
And I feel like I haven't asked you any of the questions, so I'm going.
Because we're just shooting the shit. It's fine, girl.
I know, it's fine. Let's see. I think that I'm gonna go with, because I have so many things. I'm gonna prioritize. So I feel like we haven't touched on this at all, is what is some advice that you have for other chronically ill people and or the people in their life who are trying to cope with it? You know what I mean? Like whether you are the person with the illness or the person on the other side of that.
So I would say the piece of advice that I have is just being gentle with yourself. That's something that I really like advocate for on my stuff too, like within my own stream realm. But being gentle with yourself and just, you know, even if just existing is all you can do for a day, that is okay, because you were giving your best at that moment, and that's all anybody could ever ask from you, you know. That doesn't make you any less capable of greatness either, because you struggle with something like chronic illness or something that is more of an obstacle or a hunch for you to get over. You deserve greatness, and you are capable of greatness regardless of what your body is trying to do or say, or, you know, you are capable of it, and you are so strong and you are so brave for going through something like this. You know, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
That's beautiful though.
That's you.
Beautiful. I felt, because you were looking right at your camera, I'm like, I am.
Yes, you.
Because you're looking like dead into the camera. Because a lot of streamers don't look dead into the camera. It's not a thing that we typically do. So I was like, you're talking to me.
I always try and do that too, to like make it feel like it's more personal. So that way I'm like, I'm talking to you out there. You.
Yes.
You.
It's a good tactic. It's a very good tactic. But thank you for your follow, Nightwolf. Paige is a great prep talker. Yeah, Oh, well, prep. I was going to say pep talker, but I guess that works both ways. Prep.
Yeah.
And I would agree. That's something. So when I started doing awareness, I probably started doing like super tons of endo awareness maybe a couple years after my initial like diagnosis and surgery. So probably between 2015, 2016 is when I really started to go hard on it. And
Yeah.
that was one of the first things I went hard on is be kind. That's my thing is be
100%.
kind. And that's like the best to eat to yourself, to others. And the whole thing is I said thanks, Dee. Thank you for that. Of course. You thought the same thing? That's funny. Yeah, so that was like my banner on like all my social media for the longest time. It was this yellow graphic that said be kind to yourself and others because you just never know what type of invisible problems people are going through. And it's like you can be going through whatever you want to go through, but if you're going to take it out on other people, like just don't. Just remember
the things that you go through are never an excuse to treat another human being as lesser.
Yes. And that can sometimes be really alienating because when you call people out on their behavior, it's not.
People don't like it.
No, they don't.
They don't like it at all.
No, ma'am. It's not always great. It's not a great time. I wrote a whole post about that the other day. Was that I inherently kind of alienated something somebody in a very close group, and they didn't like it. And it was like, you know what though? I've learned my lesson and I'm going to speak up. Is that this is not how you go about it in whatever this particular situation without getting too very specific. And it's like I wrote this whole post that day about how do you choose when to call somebody out on something like that when you've legitimately been hurt by something, when they're going through some shit too. And I feel like in this particular situation, we kind of lashed out both simultaneously, but it's like we both were just speaking our truths. And unfortunately that was like at that one moment. And it's like, I wrote this whole social media post about how I don't even know that I always choose the right thing. It's like speaking your truth versus being kind. It's like, was I kind at that moment? I guess it wasn't kind, but at the same time, it was like, I had to say how I was feeling because you have to speak your truth as somebody who is literally, that's what I'm doing. Like, that's what I tout. And that's what I say to everybody else. I can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't be hypocritical and not speak your mind.
And there's nothing wrong with you like standing your ground and like sticking up for yourself and what you believe in. There's nothing wrong with standing by to what you believe to be good and true, you know. And I can't imagine you ever coming at anybody with anything but kindness, whether you think you're being mean or not. It doesn't seem like you got that in your nature. So
oh dear. Well, I'm glad.
I'm sure the same could be said about me, but I'm an Aries, so what can I say?
I'm a Capricorn, bitch. I'm sure just knowing that, you know how it just, you don't even have to know me very well to know that Capricorns can be very direct and it can come off as insensitive. And that's what Jen is saying in the chat, is that it wasn't that it was unkind. It was just, it was too direct in that moment and it was a touchy situation. And Jen was in the group chat that I'm talking about. And yes, abrasive as well. Oh, thank you for your follow, Death God Shido. I just saw that. And so it's just like, it's touchy, you know, and it's in real life, it's sometimes harder to even take the moment back to be kind because now you're reacting in real time. It's a lot easier to react from behind a phone screen or streaming is even not, but
I feel like it's easier like when you're like behind a phone to be able to rationalize your thoughts first before you respond to. So if you are being direct or whatever, and then there comes, a whole nother conversation about the perception, because having a phone conversation over text isn't the same as having, one-to-one contact, like talking face to face. You can't see their mannerisms and you can't hear their tone of voice or the things that they're trying to portray. So you could be as kind as you want to be, but if somebody wants to take it a certain way, it's just going to be taken that way.
Yeah. And that was literally actually, so that person and I have already worked it out. We already like talked, but we literally went like 3 or 4 days without talking, period. We're good now. It's fine.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that.
But that reading the room aspect, it's
Mm-hmm.
you can't read the room in a group chat.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can do your best, but you can't literally read those mannerisms.
Yeah.
And it's that was exactly it. That was a part of the talking out / apology / coming to terms with what exactly happened and identifying what part of the conversation went wrong when neither of us really did the wrong thing. It didn't.
Yeah.
It was just not great. And it was regarding the pandemic and exposure. And those are not fun things to fucking talk about at all. Like,
Yeah.
these are things nobody
Especially
wants
right
to
now too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was regarding an exposure issue, and I just, I am a Capricorn. Hi.
You're
So
just like, I'm the same way though. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't agree with you, like, I'm gonna respect you and, your opinions and beliefs. And if we're talking about it, like, I'm gonna be honest with how I feel. Like, yeah, I don't agree with this, or I agree with that, or, whatever, however it turns out.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. Like, I almost have a degree. I'm not currently in school. I just mean I was this close to having a minor in like communication, and some of my other degree involves like radio and engineering and things like this. So when it comes to communication, I think my sometimes, like, via text, it doesn't come through the way that I want it to. And it's just
100%.
yeah, I think everybody has that problem. But for
Yeah.
me, it's so offensive to my own self. Like, I'm really hard on myself because it's like, well, bitch, you have this degree. Why can't you communicate? Like, so I'm not kind
Words
to
are hard.
myself. Yeah, like, words. I have a whole emote on the Elsie Banks channel that says words are heard. Like, I literally made that emote because that's my whole life. Is that I have sometimes I have a hard time articulating myself, even though
Yeah.
it's like almost what my degree was. I was like 3 credits away from like a communication degree.
Words are heard. There it is.
There it is. Yep. And I made that literally because they are.
Yeah, they really are. I totally understand.
Yeah. And it's,
120%.
yeah, it's not easy. And then add streaming into it and trying to articulate. See, it's gone. Articulate. And trying to articulate yourself. Articulate. That's a new emote right there. Articulate. We always say like words are heard, Ermagerd. Like, that's where it came from.
I do it too. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah. So it's not surprising that, how many hours into my stream I'm like like I'm really not surprised by this at all. And so, yes, that's exactly. Jen's emote is like dead on. How articulate, like that's it right there.
It's so good.
I know, it's so fantastic. But anyway, moving on. And we touched on this kind of briefly regarding your family, but one of the other questions I wanted to get to with you was, how have the people closest in your life handled your diagnosis? And for you specifically, it's been such a like an early journey. A lot of us don't have that early journey part. So I'm very curious what your answer to that is.
My family kind of expected it because all the women in my family pretty much have it. So it was just basically like, yeah, this is something you're going to have to, like you said, if you ever have a kid, like, this is something you have to experience in your life sometime and just like prepare for it or whatever. So, my family was pretty supportive in that aspect. I think that I wish that they would have been a little more, because I was so young, so I couldn't make the decisions for myself, and I wish they would have done the proper research, so that way I could have gotten like the proper care. And like, I appreciate what they've done for me. Like, they took care of me the best that I could, or the best that they could, rather, for me being so young and dealing with something so severe. So, I just wish that they were a little more educated, or tried to educate or whatever, or learn more about it, especially being with experience themselves. My family, like I said, they were really competitive. So me and my cousin always got into fights about it. she was always like trying to one up me, and I'm like, it's not a competition. We both are in this struggle together. Why can't we just like, have solidarity and, just be friends and support each other instead of it being a competition? So I've lost friends because they just didn't understand, or they just, because the stuff that comes with this, with, like you said, canceling plans, not being able to follow through with everything because you lack the spoons, or just really just personal battles that we experience. Like people wouldn't understand. They would say that I was attention seeking, especially in my generation. I'm like Gen Z millennial cusp, so the internet is a big thing, and it's like whenever I would post about it for like support or whatever, there would be 10 people right there telling me like, why are you attention seeking? Like you said, posting on Facebook about my uterus, why are you doing that? That's disgusting, don't talk about it. So it was a really strange time growing up, but I think that now the support group that I have a lovely boyfriend that he doesn't necessarily know, but he understands dealing with chronic pain and from an injury himself. He broke his back. So
shit.
Yeah, that's scary. Some
Yeah.
scary stuff. But he like kind of understands, he kind of doesn't. And when I'm having days where I just can't get off the couch and I'm just snuggled up with a heating pad and everything, he's so understanding. And I don't know, I'm just so appreciative of the support that I have. I've never had it in my life. And now here I am, almost 25, turning 25 in a few days. Existential crisis. But yeah, I think that I've done pretty good with finding the proper support group. So I'd say that they handle it pretty well. I'm excited to have them.
That's awesome. Honestly, that's one of the better situations to be in. And the friends, I feel like all of us, no matter how our families do or do not handle it, I feel like all of us are just period gonna lose friends. Just because some people are just gonna live in their little fucking privileged bubble of never being in pain when like the flu or
They'll
the
never
cold
understand.
is the only thing. Yeah, like, and those are the people that it's like at the time it was painful to lose you, but it's like looking back, I'm not mad. Like,
it's like if you refuse to acknowledge the things, the pain that I experience, you invalidate that, then I have no room for you in my life, because there's no room for hate in this house.
I agree. That's a huge thing. Like going back to what your advice is just be kind. That's about love and self-care, whether it's being kind to others or being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of like Twitch community I want, and literally IRL community I want too. And it's
100%.
it takes work to get there though. People don't realize like that's not a given. And I guess some people do realize it's not a given because they've had falling outs. The whole blood is thicker than water bullshit. Like
that's literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, and
it's bullshit. Don't ever feel like you have to keep somebody in your life if they're bad for you. All right,
yeah,
that's another piece of advice.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm not gonna lie right now, and some of the people in the chat know who this is, but one of the most triggering family members I have, who I do not speak to, who will not accept my partner, who is a female, texted me about something. I just fucking closed the preview. I'm like, fuck you, not today. Like,
you don't get really, my time today.
No, at least not until like 10 o'clock at night. No, ma'am. No.
When I got a second.
Yeah. No, I don't even know what the fuck it's about, but I'm so triggered. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Like, of all days. And my tax person called me since I've been on screen, and I'm like, God damn it. Like, oh, right now. Of all... Like,
it always ends up like that.
I know,
like you're in the middle of something and everything stacks on top of how it could go wrong, but you just write it out, and I think you're doing a great job. So
oh, thank you. I do want to wrap it up because I know that that way I can take a minute because I gotta pee. I'm not gonna lie, and that way. So this, if Becca, if you're in the chat, this is a little bit of a warning because obviously Paige was supposed to go on a little earlier. Actually, Green Eyes, I don't know that you know. I'm not sure, but one of the streamers we had planned for today didn't work out, and so Paige came on a little bit early, and And so I'm trying to shift a little bit. So I'm definitely hoping she's in the chat, because I can't close the video to check the Discord. That's my life right now. I need more things. She's not in the waiting room yet, but that's because we're a little bit ahead of schedule because of the shift. So I do want to take a quick little break. I want to let you go because you have a stream in an hour, and I don't want you to be stressed. I want you to be able to recharge a little bit. And since you're streaming tonight, I saw your tweet, but what are you streaming tonight? Tell our chat what you're streaming tonight.
So I actually on Sundays it's kind of like my day of like rest and relaxation, like my R&R and TLC. So I'll do something on Sundays that is like self-care. So whether that's re-dyeing my hair or like taking my makeup off and just talking to the chat, checking up on them. Today I actually planned on writing a list of things that I'm grateful for. So that was what I planned on doing today, and just talking about expressing gratitude and everything in chat. So that's going to be our topic of conversation, and then from there we usually go and watch movies on my Discord. So
that's awesome. I love the self-care Sunday thing. I see a lot of streamers doing that with self-care Saturday or Sunday. I adore it because I feel like streamers are so self-care heavy.
Yes.
And I love
you have
that.
to be.
I know. I love that part of the culture. And it's interesting that you're doing the list of grateful things today, because Kat and I talked about that today too. And
it all just rolls together. All the gratitude is just pouring out all over the place.
Yeah, you can't even like make that up. Oh, there's Becca in the chat. I know, Damonarchy, thank you so much for that. Green Eyes, just so you know, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. We're going to wrap up with Paige in a second here. So when you have a minute, go on into the waiting room, and I will, during my BRB screen, I'll come in and make sure that we have audio and video and everything. But again, thank you, Paige, for being here. Thank you for hanging out.
And thank you for having me. I was so freaking nervous about being here, but you were so easy to talk to. And I just want to say again, like, thank you so much for doing this and for allowing us to be able to speak about our circumstances as well, and just being such an amazing positive influence within this community and within this part of the internet realms. Like, you are doing a good thing and fighting the good fight, and I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for all the kind words. Just, it's like, no, you're kind. No, you are.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it ends up being. Yeah. So get ready, recharge your spoons if you can. And maybe I'll see you in about an hour.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Oh, wrong one. It's okay. We're here. We're here now. It's fine.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, Becca.
Hello. I was about to say hello. Never mind. Yes, hello. My nerves are still in here.
It is okay. It is all right. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's been chilling, but I'm good. I'm really excited to be here, honestly.
Yay. I'm really glad to have you. And I know your time zone's a couple earlier, see, the words are heard is attacking right now. Oh my goodness. You're a couple hours earlier, so I'm grateful that you're able to make it make sense for you. So I appreciate your time today.
Yes, that's why I was like, please let me go last because I am not a morning person. I was like, I can't. 11 o'clock, I think, is when you started for me. So I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
it's only 2:08 right now for me.
Yeah. See, we're encroaching upon dinner time here in Michigan, so it's like, all right, calming it down. I feel like we've had such a great stream so far, and like I'm so proud of Kat and Paige so far, and I'm just trying to. I'm also nervous, believe it or not.
Yeah, but you guys are doing awesome. Like you guys know your shit. Like I feel like my story is so like stand still now that I don't have like as much to say, I guess, compared to you guys. You guys, you've gone through a lot too. So
Well, so I obviously I wanna hear the story, but first, before we get into your endo story, I want just so that way we can reestablish with my chat your preferred name, your pronouns, a brief channel description, and any other identifiers you want to talk about your life.
okay, so my name is Becca. My Twitch handle is Green Eyes. So some people call me Green, some people call me Beck. Just not Rebecca or Becky. Usually is what I don't go for. She, her, and I live in Los Angeles. So it's pretty warm today. I just like to wear beanies for comfort, but it's like 95 degrees over here. It's hot. So
95.
yeah, so it's starting somewhere really early. Still new to the streaming world. I did start last year, probably around April, May. But since I went to culinary school, so I got my degree in patisserie and baking, and I do chocolate covered strawberries. So during like the January, February time, I focused like on my strawberries. So I thought maybe, in my superhero mind, I thought, oh, I could totally do like everything. Like I could do it. And yeah, that was like a very real short realization that my spoons did not did not carry so far. So I've been kind of inconsistent with stream lately, just because I've been focusing on that, and then my cat got sick, so I've
Oh.
kind of trying to get back into the streaming world again. But I'm glad that you found me, on Twitter, and I've met a lot of endo streamers, so that's been really awesome, and I'm very fortunate to have met you guys.
Yeah, all because all of us in some way had, endo or chronic or some version of that in our bios, or we tweeted with hashtags, which
Oh
is
yeah.
which is super helpful too. But also, it being in the bio is like confirmation. If I had to dig too far to find it, it's like nah.
Too much work. Yeah.
No
I
more.
know, and I searched everywhere for yellow, and this is, as yellow as I get. So
I have to hoard yellow stuff all year round just for March. But what's funny? So Jen in the chat, whose name is Yellow for March. I think she told me that she did that for March. But she actually made Save Spoon beanies for me.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's backwards because Discord's a dick when it comes to mirroring, but it says Save Spoons. And I mentioned this earlier and I had to find them, but you will have a little bit more yellow because I'm going to mail one of these to you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I love it. There we go. That's the most yellow I got now. I'm
Yes.
getting
originally I was thinking, oh, I'll mail them to everybody so they'll have them for stream. And I'm like, well, we're not all going to wear this yellow beanie on stream. Like, frankly, like we're not all going to be like matching, So I was like, and so you and Kat and Paige are all going to get one of these.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. EBX Jen in the chat made them. She found herself with a ton of extra yellow yarn. And she was like, I didn't know what else to do, so I made you some beanies. What do you want them to say? I was like, perfect. So you'll have a little bit more yellow.
And
So yeah,
yes.
I'll get with you guys after and grab your addresses and stuff. But what's interesting is that when I found your account, I was like, this bitch makes horror strawberries.
Yes.
Horror. There are xenomorphs on your motherfucking strawberries. And I'm so sad that I can't have them in my life.
I know. I need you. Like, we all need to like meet together, and I promise I'll make any strawberries you guys want.
When we're in, frankly, our band travels to California relatively regularly. Like, we've been going to California like once a year for the last couple years outside of the pandemic. So if we're ever in California and I can plan it, I'm gonna be like, I need to buy all of your strawberries right now.
Yes, let me know. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So like, and before I get into the endo, I want to know what thought process happened when you were like, I'm gonna put xenomorphs on strawberries.
Well, I love horror. Like, I really do. Like, you could see Frankie back there and all my pops, and I have posters. So I just would Google lots of different, like, oh, what can I do? So I would Google silhouettes or kind of get ideas. So I found like a little bit of a mold, but it breaks. So I kind of had to like do it half of it, play around with it and see what I could do. So, and then I got an order that just wanted alien berries. So I was like, perfect. Let me just like, she was like, go do whatever you want. And I was like, yes, full creativity. So I had a lot of fun. And that's just kind of how it came along.
That's amazing.
So
I'm jealous of the creativity and the fact that you use your schooling to create horror themed food. It's super cool. And if there's a reason to fangirl over you, that's literally why. I'm like, this girl literally makes horror themed candy things. Yeah. And strawberries. But I could talk about horror themed things all day. However,
right. Me too.
Right. Like, and that's fine. The chat would probably be like, okay. And I guess endo is horrific. So, and this can be as long of a story or as short a story as you want. What is your endo story?
Okay, so I'm adopted, so I sadly don't know much of my biological family's, their health conditions and stuff. So once I got sick, I started getting sick maybe around 15, 16. I felt like it just changed. Like, I felt so normal and like an everyday, kid doing a bunch of stuff. I was very active. I played sports all my life. So one morning I just woke up and I started getting like really bad cramps, really bad stomach pains. And my mom was just like, oh, it's probably just your period, like, and so in my head that kind of comforted me, like, okay, like this really fucking hurts, but it'll go away in like a few days. So, okay, I'll just deal with it. And, days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. And then I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I need to go see what's up. Because even my mom was like, it doesn't seem like this is normal anymore. Like, you should, be up and going. And so I was fortunate enough that I got diagnosed with endometriosis really early. Like, I saw a new gynecologist, and I was probably one of his first or two patients. So at the time, he was very concerned. So he did a whole exam and he stuck like a scope up me, and he immediately saw I had endo, and he was like, but he didn't tell me like this was something that was going to be forever. He just was just like, oh, you know what? Like, we know it's endo and we're going to do surgery like next week. And then that's it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like in 2 weeks, I'll be back to normal. Like, this is it. Like, this is awesome. Like, I got my diagnosis. Like, this is good. And so I did a lap, and after my lap, I still felt the same. And so I was like, is this me? Like, is it my head? Like, am I just like picturing, like feeling like I have it, but I don't have it? Like, what's going on? So I went back and I saw him, and his perspective really changed. Like, he went from a very concerned doctor to kind of like egotistic. He got bigger, and he kind of was like, you know what, like, that should have worked for you. Like, you're kind of crazy now. Like, you got diagnosed with endo. I did a lap. Like, you should be fine. And I was like, but I'm not fine. And he's like, but you're only 17. And I'm like, I know, that's the point. Like, why? I don't want to be sick at 17. And he was like, just give it time. And he just kind of left me there. And so I gave it time and I went on a lot of meds and I didn't feel any better. So I went back to him again and he did another lap. And then they removed my gallbladder because they thought like maybe that will help. So they just took it out.
Just maybe.
You're fine still. Like if you take out your gallbladder, you'll be fine. So they took it out and I still felt terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's kind of like I went on a bunch of other meds. I started getting headaches every single day on top of that. So I went to neurologist and then I got prescribed Topamax that made me blind. I was blind for like 2 weeks. I couldn't see. One day I woke up
at all?
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah, I couldn't see at all. And I was like, I started crying and I told my mom, like, I can't see. And like, I went to school and I was like, this is crazy. Like, people were like, can you see me? And I was like, no, bitch, I can't see you. It's not funny. Like, I'm scared. And so I got off it right away. And it took me about another maybe like 2 weeks. And I finally was able to see again. So I was terrified. After that, I was like, I don't want any medication.
Well, yeah.
I'm I'm good. And so I got diagnosed in the meantime during all that new daily persistent headaches. So it's a headache that I have every single day. Just the intensity and the type of headache changes every day.
Wow.
So not many people have that. It's kind of like it's the same thing kind of like endo, like it was in a sense like I got sick and then it just came along and it just never went away. So after about all of that, I think I was maybe 25. I did like Botox and just different treatments for my body, therapy, physical therapy. I just kind of gave up, if I'm not gonna lie. I just was like, I can't find a good gynecologist to really actually like, I don't even know where my endo is in my body. I just have so much pains, but no one has ever really helped me and being like, oh, this is where it's located. This is, every doctor always told me like, hey, you should go to a place where there's a lot of women and they all like supposedly say they're sick because you're crazy. And I was like, I can't. Like, this is so dumb. Like, I'm paying all this money, and people just assume that because I'm young, that I'm supposed to be healthy.
Yeah.
And I wish that was the case. I wish that youth considered healthiness, but that's not, unfortunately, the reality of it. So for the past I'm 29 now, so probably for the past like 5 years, I got rid of doctors. Like, unless there's like a new like symptom I'm feeling, I kind of trained my head to kind of heal my brain. So to get my brain strong, I do a lot of meditation, a lot of remedies I discovered, therapy when I need to kind of just get my brain strong. But I've given up the idea of getting help at this point. It made me so depressed to find help that I just axed it. And I lost so many people in my life, like in my early 20s, talking about endo, that I shut off. Like, it wasn't until you came along where I really was like, damn, like, I've been so nocturnal about talking about endometriosis. Like, I lost so many people talking about endo that I was hurt. Like, I couldn't, I mourned a lot. I mourned a lot of loss from people. And I know like now it's like, oh, good. And, like, I'm so glad I lost those people, but it made me very reclusive. And so now that you're here and, I met a lot of awesome endo streamers, I was like, you know what, like, I should bring back my voice because, this is a part of me. And if people can't accept that, then, whatever, but my younger self became so broken by that loss. I'm trying to, I guess, heal back what I lost, which is a lot of myself that I just hid away. So that's kind of like where I'm at now.
And you said that your story was boring. I don't remember what you said, but that was so not whatever you said. I was so ill prepared for blindness to be a part of any of an endo story. I've heard a lot of endo stories, and that was one of the more interesting ones, to be completely honest with you. Like, that's absolutely wild. And I saw that Dawn in the chat said she also had weird side effects with Topamax. I've heard terrible things about Topamax. Is it Topamax?
Mhm.
Topamax?
Yeah, Topamax.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh,
Uh,
Tomato.
yeah. And so it's like I've heard really bad things about that. And it's hard to put your trust back into the health system when you've been
Mhm.
done dirty so wrong or so many times. And it's I kind of feel the same way. I literally don't go to the doctor unless I
Yeah.
know that I'm sick. So like I get a lot of respiratory bacterial infections because of sinus drainage. And that's like
Mhm.
the only time. I literally only go to urgent care. And then I have a gyno because I have an IUD. And so I have to go and get checkups for that. But other than that, I don't fucking trust doctors. And
Mhm.
every story today is just like it's like I no wonder I'm so jaded because we all are. We've
Mhm.
we've all been so done dirty by because I mean cats in the UK, it doesn't even matter what country you're in because like we've all just been done dirty by the health system because nobody wants to believe that this beautiful looking human who looks like nothing's wrong with her, you know, might be actually something's really wrong. And
Right.
it's like pain management is really just at this point what we're all dealing with at the end of the day, and it's really unfortunate. And I do know that a lot of us deal with extra things that come along with endo. And I wanted to ask you, like, I want to know more about the headache. I've already forgotten what it was called. What was the thing called with your headaches?
New daily persistent headaches.
Wow. So literally every day.
Literally every day. I've even gotten ones which I can now know, but it's one that makes you have seizures. It's a ball. What is it called? Mears. I wish I could remember the main name. Baltimore migraine, I believe. And so I know now when it triggers, but when I first got it, I got really dizzy when I woke up and I passed out.
Whoa.
And then I started having seizures. And so my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, like what the heck's going on? Now you're having seizures." And so I went to back to the neurologist and they did like a brain scan on me and they said it was a balsam migraine and it just random it's just a type of millions of migraines that you have. So there's no I could still drive because it wasn't like it was constant.
Mm-hmm.
But it you have to know like when you get up and you feel dizzy to literally just lay back in bed. So that's usually what I do just to be cautious because it scared me. But it's just you can have any sort of headache anytime, changes throughout the day. You'll never have a no headache. So I haven't had it. I've always had a headache now since I was like 17. It's
Wow.
just
And you said you're
there.
29 now?
29. Yeah.
Holy cow. I've never I've heard of chronic migraines and chronic headaches like that, but this is the very first time I'm hearing of this particular thing. So I'm just a little bit shooketh, if you will. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry that you deal with that. And not to take away from the seriousness of this, but I got a raid from Paganopolis just now.
Oh, Peyton.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Peyton.
bringing, yeah, thank you for bringing your community here. If you can't tell, this is Green Eyes on screen, Becca. We are, yes, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it though. I don't know. Thank you for bringing your community here. Welcome. How was your stream, Paganopolis? And what were you streaming? I want to know about you. Tell me. Tell me right meow. Uh, but so with that, while I was chilling. Same. We be chilling all day. That's from chilling to more chilling, except we're talking about our uteruses, which is fun. Um, sometimes. Yeah, we're doing a special raid. Nope. We're doing a special stream today regarding endometriosis awareness. And this is my third and final guest today, Green Eyes, Becca. But we had Cat Strike on earlier. We also had Mind of Paige on earlier. So yeah, it's been a fun, chill stream. Been pretty chill, I would say. I cried in my intro. I haven't cried again, so we're good. Um, I'm proud of myself. Maybe I won't cry in the outro part either. We'll see. Um, but yeah, one of my questions for you is the people in your life, the closest people in your life. How do they deal with since you have endo and this headache issue, how do they deal with these things as you're going through them?
Um, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, a lot of my family was really kind of like, don't ask, don't tell. Like, I always have to put on a face that I like, that I'm good. And like the moment I don't like I show my true self, it's kind of very shocking to them. It's very like, oh, it'll go away tomorrow, or like I don't know what to say, or it's been hard. I have some people, that do try their best to bring, to really care, but I feel like it's always overwhelming. Like I always feel like I think I'm so scarred by being a burden to people, and I really do try to not talk about it so much. Like it's hard though, so
Yeah. It's a weird balance because you really don't want to feel like a burden. I've
right.
definitely been there. Me and my partner both deal with that because she also has chronic illnesses, and it's hard not to feel that way. And it doesn't help when you have literal past trauma of people being like, "Well, you'll be fine tomorrow, right?" It's like, "No.
Right.
No, that's not how that works at all." And it's not it's definitely not fun. I will say I will say that.
Right.
And like you
And I
mentioned, you've lost friends over speaking out about
mhm.
that kind of stuff. And so it kind of drove you inward, which like we've all talked about that too, is what it feels
Mhm.
like to lose friends. And we all feel alone, you know?
Right. And I try and get myself to, I've read a lot of books on like, how to love and, how to be like a great partner and all this shit. And I try and think of like the other perspective. Like I can understand that being on the opposite side, like having a partner or having friends or whatever, it's hard for them too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
to try and grasp that your significant other that you love is sick and is hurting, and they don't know how much, like what to do for, like how to help you, like how do they care and help someone when they're not going to get better tomorrow, so I try and change my perspective to see the other person, to not try and not put so much pressure onto them, because I don't think that's fair too. It's like I try, we have expectations, and they're not always going to be met. So I try and when I feel like, man, like they're not really doing what I wish they would act towards me, I try and switch my focus, like okay, like it's not easy for them too, and I also shouldn't demand in my head or my heart so much from them. So it is really this constant battle of like, okay, like how much should a person give me, and how much shouldn't they, or it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I have definitely specifically written whole posts about that and how and it's literally not about me. It's about how people should be talking to people with chronic illnesses. And it's that feel better mentality that I can't stand it, but they don't know any better. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like how people when somebody needs to know something about say trans people have to speak up and say no, this is how it needs to be. And that's kind of how I feel as somebody with endo. It's like, well, they don't know any better. Like you said, like you got to give
Mhm.
them that grace period, but it's also unfair if we can't tell them how to react. And so I try at least once every March to put it into writing, which is that I know you want to help and I know you can't
Mhm.
help, but here's what you can do. And it's understand that we're going to cancel plans. Understand that we might be flaky sometimes. Understand that we get tired. Like just all the things you need to understand. But then in the same breath, and this happens every single year I do it, somebody will comment, feel better.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I literally just what did I say? Like I literally with I to be fair, in that post this year I didn't say don't say feel better. But as soon as a couple people did it on the comment thread, I went out of my way. I tagged those people and I was like, "Listen, I know that you mean well because I know the people who commented, but this is
Mhm.
not it. And let me tell you why, because we won't feel better. We have good days and bad days, but we will never feel better because that's not how it works. And so it's like you said, it's this weird balance of how much grace can you give somebody
Hmm.
if you've already told them how to handle it,
Right.
but if you haven't, it's like, okay, just fine, it's fine, I'll be over here in my
Yeah.
bed, like.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing I want to spread awareness about every year about just any chronic illness, it's just you can't tell people to feel better. It's yeah, Mimi in the chat just said it's like when people say just be happy,
Yeah.
just like turn your depression off. It's okay. That's like not how it works. Like, and that's
Right.
exactly how chronic illness is, which also, I mean, depression is kind of in that category too. It's usually chronic uh, for people for people who have it. D, yes. Uh, the never ending spoons daemonarchy. He always has spoons.
He
Uh,
always has-
right, woof, right. If you're homeless, just buy a house. Like it's like, have you never dealt with anything in your whole life, you know? And it's yeah, it's definitely always a battle/balance,
Mhm.
and it's we all deal with it, and I'm grateful, like you said, like us finding each other, and it's because like you had something in your bio, you said something on Twitter that
Mhm.
made me go, I want to watch this human, and she has the same struggles as me. It's just so rare to find people. It's easy to find people with endo. It's hard to find streamers and people who want to talk about it,
Right.
basically. It's really easy. Like when I first started doing Facebook, when Facebook was my main social,
Mm.
uh, and I started doing awareness, people like I found out that like I had like 20 friends with endo, like of all different ages, different demographic, and I was like, holy shit! But none of them talk about it. Not one of them had ever posted
Mhm.
about it, and I'm like, I gotta break that whole thing, the whole stigma of like talking
Mhm.
about your uterus or your cervix or whatever the fuck
Right.
is. Daemonarchy spoon checked me. I still have 10 spoons on my screen, which is totally inaccurate for this point in my day. I mean, I feel fine, but energy levels and energy, I think I
Dwindle.
took it down to 5 spoons. I'm going to go with 5 spoons. Um, SMAC, what is a good way for someone to express to you that they commiserate with how you feel instead of saying feel better? That's a great question. And I wish I had my comment in front of me that I made that day to the person that said feel better. Because for me, and it's a great question for you too, Becca, actually, and feel free to
Mhm.
answer. It's like, it's for me, I understand and I'm here for you if you ever want to talk, like those kind of sentiments. Or what's a good way to put it? I guess that's it. Is there anything you want to add to that? Like how?
Yeah, or like the genuine, like when you really feel it's like, how are you feeling today? Like a genuine, like, yeah, like kind of like you said, like feel free to actually be honest about how you're feeling. Because, usually they're like, they ask, but they're like, just please say you're good, and we'll just move on. But like you can tell when someone's like, really, like, how you doing today? Like, how's your pains today? Like, you know, what's your energy level, or just genuine questions about you where you feel comfortable to talk about your pain. That's usually what makes me feel comfortable or want to talk about it.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. It's different than being hit up like in a DM by somebody like an acquaintance, somebody you don't really talk to very much, and they're like, "Hey," and it's like, dude, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even. Why would you? Hi, hey, what? What do you want? Like it's just like I might know that person, but if you just go, "Hey," I'm literally gonna leave you on red because I don't care. Like, but to your point, if you're like, "Hey, saw your post. How you doing today?" I'm going to answer and I'm going to tell you the truth, you know?
Right.
And
Hmm.
as much as I won't read, "Oh, hi lady, I don't know how to say the second part of your name, Lady Contilius, I'm going to go with. She is also an endo streamer that I found
Oh.
in my Twitter searches. She's also been raising money for endometriosis this month. And
That's awesome.
but yeah, it's like I am so much more likely to be like, I want to talk to you and I want to open up about my pain, because they're like, listen, if you want to talk, I'm here. And even if you know that person's not going to come to you to talk, it's just knowing that they're there. Like,
Right.
because everybody has their like 2, 3, maybe 4 people at most that they go to, you know, your
Mhm.
go-to people to talk about your shit. I have my partner who lives with me, Trish, and I have Jen, and I have Beta now, who I wouldn't know unless it were for without Twitch. She's one of my new go-tos. Like, talk to this right now. Like, I'm dying today. Help. Like, but but oh, excuse me. But just knowing, I would say that was a really long answer, but I love what you added to that, Becca. I really love your answer to that more than mine.
Hey, yours was just as awesome.
Thank you for your host, lady. I appreciate it so much. Jen, having been close to Aaron for a while, so sorry you're dealing with this. Hugs. Yeah, yeah, that helps, honestly. That's just knowing that people are like sending you good vibes. And I try to do that too. When I see that people are tweeting or posting about struggles, I always try to message them, or
Mhm.
or even just comment and be like, "Hey, I I I feel you." Sending all of the healing vibes.
That goes a long way. That honestly does.
Yeah.
It really touches you like on a whole different level, just those few words.
And
It
that's
really
when
does.
people started doing that to me, genuinely, I was like, wow, that made me feel better. So I
Mhm.
started wanting to pass that on. And honestly, Twitch culture has a lot to do with that. Like the self care, the self love, like that inherently comes with like not all streamers, but some streamers.
Right.
um, but that leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is, does endo have a place in your content? And if it does, how so?
It does in a sense where I try and talk about it, pop it up, kind of talk about. I try and be honest with how I'm feeling. When people ask me on my stream, "How you doing?" I try and be transparent than always like, "Oh, I'm good." I'll say, "Oh, I'm feeling some pain today, but I'm glad I'm here." Or, I try and bring it into where we feel comfortable, where it's a part of my life and I'm going to bring it up. And if it becomes too much for you, you're more than welcome to leave, but this is part of who I am. I just barely am trying to I got a gaming laptop recently, so I'm barely trying to add like stuff to it. So I don't my stream itself doesn't have any spoons or cool doodads
It
yet,
could,
but
though.
yeah. Yes. So I was just kind of working on that part of it. But I would talk about it on my socials for sure every March. I write a lot because that was a way to kind of cope with my pains and my loneliness, I guess, at times. So I write, and I would kind of find communities in the writing community with endo people, and so I kind of floated around, and that's kind of I guess how I brought my awareness around.
And
It's
that's,
just kind of stuff like that.
yeah, and that's amazing as is. Like it's definitely hard to incorporate into streaming. Like it's easy to just post on socials. Like that's easy to do, you know.
Mhm.
You have your soapbox, you say what you're going to say, you post a video, whatever, but incorporating it into streaming is like next level. It's and
Yeah.
and I would say that for me, oh, hi bitter coder. And for me, Twitch is the first time I've ever felt comfortable on socials being like, you know what? I don't feel great today and I need this stream to make me feel better.
Mhm.
I feel like there's, and maybe what I would say Twitter also, you can be pretty honest on Twitter. But like Facebook, Insta, it's all just a facade kind of. I feel like it's harder to be honest on those. And so
Right.
it's refreshing that so many of us, and you included, feel comfortable being honest on your stream. And
Right.
fuck you if you don't like it, leave,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna talk about my cervix and my pelvic floor sometimes. Here we are, and so it's refreshing that, and I'm so grateful that I've, like, just like you were saying, I found you, you found us, whatever version of that exists. I'm just
Mhm.
really grateful that we've started the conversation, and I don't want to end it. You know what I mean? Like, March is for endo, but Endo is always here.
Yeah.
So it's like I can be loud and proud, like you said, like you post about it in March. I feel like we all post about it in March to some extent, but like it's just after March,
Every
I feel like I should almost shut up about it.
You're right. That's how I felt too. Like, okay, I think they got enough of me in endo for March. Like,
Right. It,
I'll be quiet now.
but it's like at the same time, that's like the opposite. But yeah, D, don't shut up about it after March. It's hard because I saturate so hard during March about
Mhm.
all this stuff and I turn everything yellow on my stream and then I go back to like regular me. But it's like, no, I do need to go out of my way to continue. Just not the same way. There's not like I write a lot as well. I try to not write small novellas on Facebook and Instagram, but I do.
Yeah.
And that's exhausting. Like I mean, as much like I love writing and like you said, you like writing too, but it does take spoons
Right.
to write S back. It's not offensive to me that you are transparent. I'm glad it's not I'm hoping it doesn't offend anybody. Lady, no cervix here, but yes, my endo is still icky. Yeah, I can't. Oh, yeah, I can't imagine. It's not great. None of it's great. All of our spoons just float away sometimes.
They do. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, where are my spoons? I don't have any today. They're
Yeah,
gone.
it's like sleeping took your spoons.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, oh,
It's
fuck.
like where they go. I don't
Yeah.
know. They are not
Don't I get
here.
look under my bed real quick? Maybe there's a dusty one under there.
Me and Trish. Oh yes, I'm glad you said it. Trish just said it in chat. Sometimes she says she wakes up with all bent spoons. They're just all like fucking wonky. They've been stepped on, or or like the spoon in the Matrix is like, boop, like
Oh yeah.
another spoon check for I. I'm gonna go down to 4 just because you asked, but I'm okay. I'm doing okay. But yeah, the honesty about the spoons is hugely important. And there are some days where this was literally me on Friday. I told my chat like midway through the chat, I'm like, I'm not terribly okay. And because somebody in my chat was like, I'm not okay, but you guys are literally saving me. Something along those literal lines. And I was like, you know what? I don't think the chat realizes how often they save me
Right.
when I'm not okay. And it takes a lot of courage to even start a stream when you are not feeling okay.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, bitter. I wake up in the morning with extra spoons than I could possibly need. Aw, yeah. Daemonarchy is very much the same. Daemonarchy is constantly it's saying if you need help, if you need anything, here is a spoon. Him
Aw.
helping me with my permissions today because I didn't have my permissions all set up in Discord and I thought I did. I did not. And he loaned me some spoons and helped me in that way. And that's the kind of thing like people just going back to how can you help? Just literally help me. Just however you think you can help me. Fucking whatever that means,
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me,
The
it's
help is honestly important.
yeah. What can I do to help you? Yeah, and it took my parents quite a while to figure that out as well. Um, and when I told them that streaming was like my job now, my mom, well, I don't think my dad doesn't get it, but he's a full time truck driver, so like he doesn't really like have time to, whatever. He's an essential worker. He has been this entire time. My mom is retired, so like she'd call me and I'm like, I'm streaming. What do you want? Like what? They can hear you. What do you want? I'm working right now. And it's like and then streaming is a really great way for us to use the platform. Like I can't say enough good things about how honest people are on Twitch, basically.
Right. Mhm.
And I love that you subscribe to the same mentality.
Yes. And it's nice to have the flexibility of it too. Like if you generally don't feel well, you can try it again tomorrow. It's not so much pressure as, a regular job, like, oh shit, like I have to call in and, all that added pressure that we really don't need. So
Yeah, it's the pressure in general, like that can be the pressure of having a chronic illness. Like that can be assigned to so many things. Like what we talked about earlier, the pressures of even just telling people, well, do I tell them that they're not helping me or do I not tell
Right.
like and the anxiety that comes along with even just having these issues. And it's all exhausting at the end of the day. And I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
My
Just
hat
talking about it reminds me how exhausted it really is.
right. And I mean, I put it out there literally at at any given day in March. I'm putting it out there constantly, and you are, and Paige is, and Kat is, and all of a lot of the streamers that I found who have endo do the same thing. But it's like you just kind of forget. Like now that we're toward the end of the month, I'm like, fuck, I'm exhausted. like like
Yeah.
there's like what, three days? Monday? Yeah, Wednesday's the 31st, right?
I think yes, yes.
So I have like 3 more novels to write.
Yeah, but you've been doing so well. Even your stream consistency is so good.
Oh, thank
Like I don't know
you.
how you do it, but you're awesome. Like to
I
have such good momentum with doing
Thank
what you
you.
can.
Yeah, oh, thank you for them biddies. I see you,
Yeah.
puppet princess. Thank you for them biddies. My alerts are off because they're intrusive when we're talking about uteruses. Um, but like picture $2,000 in pennies. Oh my god. Please no. That sounds terrible. Um, but yeah, I think that for me, it's different because I came into streaming coming from a full-time gig schedule, and that gig schedule doesn't stop for endo, and I can't tell you how many times I've been on stage in fucking tons of pain.
Mm.
And I'm really, to my own detriment, used to the show must go on mentality,
Mhm.
and that's how I treat Twitch. So unless I'm dying, I'm going to literally be on screen. My mental state literally has nothing to do with if I decide to go on screen, and I know that's not the case for a lot of streamers.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that is the case for you or not, because like people with literal pain, it's like, well, if my mind is okay and I can get through it, then I'll be fine.
Mhm.
I don't know. Are you the same way?
Yeah, like if my mind is strong enough, I realized when I went to acupuncture that the lady told me I run off adrenaline. So I'm sure it's probably all you guys too. So once your adrenaline goes zero, you're like 100% wiped out until your adrenaline builds up. And it's not how you're supposed to use your adrenaline, but people with chronic pain, they run off of adrenaline. So I try and yeah, if my mental state is good, I can kind of get myself to point A to point B to point C. And but sometimes streaming, I feel like I don't want my pain to show. I guess that's why sometimes even though my mind feels good, I feel like I don't have the personal energy to come off on stream like fun and exciting and entertaining. And I think that's where I battle. Like if I don't feel like streaming, it's also because I don't feel like I can give off the presence I want to give off.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't want to be like, hey guys, like like I don't want to show, I guess, so much vulnerability. There's like so much, like I want to show it, but to an extent. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I'm like afraid to go to that next beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I think because I'm a Pisces too, like I overthink everything. I could just sit in my room and be like, okay, now I'm sad. Like now I'm in my feelings. So fucking Pisces gets to me. I'm like,
and I'm the opposite. I'm
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm not really an overthinker. So like for me, if I don't, sometimes I have trouble acknowledging that the show doesn't need to go on. Like because it's so ingrained in me. I've been a performer for a decade. More now, because 2010 was when I started performing, and it's like I don't know how to undo that behavior, and as long as it's not hurting me, it's okay, kind of thing. Like but at the same time, like I should probably be a little bit more mindful of that. Like, but also it's different because as a music streamer, I can decide that I'm only doing chill songs today. Like I'm not going to be doing some Will Smith today. You know what I mean? Like I don't I think people who game or just chat or whatever version of their personality is on screen, it's like it's held to a different standard because there's no performance aspect. If that makes sense. Like I could be a totally different version of myself, play the same damn music, and I don't really know that it would affect the chat. You know what? It's hard to
Yeah.
describe.
Mhm.
And so it's like, say, take Kat, for instance. She's super fucking high energy. If she's not okay, I can see how she'd be like, yeah, I'm not streaming. Like,
Mhm.
she's like ADHD, super, super high energy. And that's a lot. And, oh, yeah, good call, Trish. I turned off live learns for, I don't know how long. It was like a month. I feel like it was more than 2 weeks. It could have been 2 weeks, but it felt like a month because I knew I didn't have the spoons to do live
Hold on, I
learns.
think
Uh-oh, what
I had
happened?
lost you for a second. Sorry.
Oh,
It
it's
was like
okay. It's
you're there
okay.
though.
It's I was like, wait, is it me? um, oh, thank you for the biddies, C page. I think it says C
Hey,
page.
Paige. Yeah, that's C Page.
Oh, oh my God, that's a hype train. I was about to start talking about. I had just started saying that if I am like feeling mopey, I can get away with it. I'm not some hype ass game streamer. I sometimes am really chill, and then a hype train happened. S-Mac, thank you so much. This is the second hype train we've had today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we started off the stream with the hype train while I was in my intro. We got to level 2. I am already very, very happy with that. Oh my God,
Oh,
Tortoise.
oh.
Hello, Tortoise. Oh my gosh. Thank you. They gifted 5 subs. Oh my, that's the second time you've done that today. Tortoise, Tortoise. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Jen is chill all the time, so she can pretty much get away with any vibe. And that's kind of, I think, how music streamers can get away with it, unless you're like a drummer, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But like, other than that,
Maybe.
if you're like, yeah, guys, I have my coffee and I'm chill today, it's not that big of a deal. But I can see anybody else who doesn't rely on music for performance, I think I can understand why it matters a little bit more in that way.
Mhm.
Um, but we are running out of time. I know it's like it's my stream, I guess, whatever. But according to my own schedule, we are running out of
No.
time, and I also don't want to take up too much of your time, because thank you for being here.
Of course.
But I want to. The question I've kind of been asking at the end of everybody's portion has been, what is some advice? And we already kind of touched on this. So if you have anything else to say about advice for people dealing with chronic illness and or the people who are dealing with people with chronic illness, what is your advice for them?
My advice is just surround yourself with love and as much as possible. When love the like, don't give up on the things you love. Like I always say, like if I'm having a bad day, like a really bad health day, like hold on to what you enjoy. Like, oh, I get to have this, if you drink coffee or your favorite snack, like, oh, this is nice, or I get to snuggle up in my blanket and this is comforting. And you kind of like hold on to the little joys in life. I know that it sucks and it's uncomfortable, but hold on to what you value, the people around you. Like surround yourself just with love, really, and don't be so hard on yourself. Like if sometimes I just want to sulk. Like I just want to say fuck this. I don't know if I can do this forever, and I'm just gonna sit in my bed and like sob all day, and that's okay. Like if we have those days, like we shouldn't feel so guilty about it, or make us feel like damn, like we're not trying hard enough, or we're not doing it right. But it's okay to be vulnerable. Just hang on. Just as long as you surround yourself with good people and you hold on to those little joys and you just keep fighting. Like I really believe like we'll all keep going. We'll all like our little army, or our endo army, it keeps growing,
Nice. I
and it's
love
awesome.
Endo Army.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I have hope for all of us. Eventually I really hope we all get to where we want to be, whether big or small. I just, I believe in us, and I don't want to lose any of us.
Yeah.
It's sad when I hear some endo people that commit suicide, or it breaks my heart. It's like I felt that, like I felt a piece of me die too, because we lost one of us, and we got to stick together. So I cherish us. I cherish our family, and even if we don't, we talk here and there, whatever. Like you'll always have my support, and I think if as long as you feel like you have that in life, you can do a lot. So
I love that. That is a lovely final thought for this. And I love Endo Army. I don't think I've ever heard that before, and I loved it. And I don't want to not acknowledge the chat. Thank you so much for all the biddies. There's so much happening. Jen was gifting subs. You guys are incredible. Thank you for all the biddies. I'm paying attention, but it's also serious shit. We have Endo armies to take care of right now. Yeah,
exactly.
Jen, I would say, yeah. Becca, do you identify
Oh,
as an empath?
yes, I do. I very much do.
Yeah, same. It's like to the extent where like if I watch a sad movie, I can't do anything else the rest of the day. Like I take energy. I like my soul eats the
Mhm.
energy in the room.
Yeah, and people like I can feel everyone's energy.
Yeah, Jen is like that too. So I'm not surprised that Jen was like, I think Becca is like us in that way. Jen is even more like that than me. And I think that I have a lot of that in me as well. Oh my goodness. Thank you. You guys are still cheering. Thank you so much.
Pagan. Thank you, Pagan.
Yes. Paganopolis rated and cheered. Oh my gosh. I just, the incredible vibes that we've come across today just truly have. If I wasn't inspired by the endo streamers I've found, I very much am now. Like, I mean, I was. Well, all of that was very inarticulate. I was very inspired already, and now I'm just all that more inspired. Oh, thank you, anonymous gifter to Paganopolis. Thank you so much. And so with that, I want to wrap up. I'm gonna do a quick little outro to my chat, and then don't tell Paige. I think I'm gonna go raid her.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
I do believe she'll be on in a few minutes, and she's doing Self-Care Sunday, and she's making a list of all the things she's grateful for, and I just think that that's a really great fucking way to wrap up just a really great way to wrap up my Sunday. So I want to let you go, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for
um
having me.
yeah, of
No,
course.
anytime. I'm here. Just let me know
Thank
if
you.
you
And
need
yeah,
to
and
chat.
just like we talked about, I'm here for you, and I appreciate that so very much. And we'll stay in touch, and I will definitely be doing more of these in the future. So
Okay.
definitely going to keep you on my radar. And I'm gonna talk to my chat for a little bit and
All right.
say goodbye. And thank you so much again for being here. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Erin.
Bye. Let me just hit the right buttons. It's fine. So, oh my goodness, guys, the camera is still in fucking focus. Can you believe it? Can you believe the camera is still in focus? And can we get all the claps and everything else in the chat? Just all the support for Cat Strike and Mind of Page and Green Eyes. And I am incredibly overwhelmed by what we've done today here. With $2,100, and oh man, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm overwhelmed, and I foresee a terrible emotional hangover tomorrow, which sucks. Oh my goodness. We did another level too, guys. I can't. Aw, Ethan, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. All the claps and love for everybody who, honestly, I don't necessarily love calling people who do awareness brave, because to me, I don't like necessarily being called brave, because it's just my story, and I'm literally just telling my story to save other people from dealing with the same type of bullshit. But I'm I everybody who came on today, I'm so proud of you. If I didn't say it to you, I'm sorry, because I didn't say that to anybody on my stream today, but I am so fucking proud of you, of Kat and Paige and Becca. I'm so fucking proud of you for telling your stories today. Damonarchy, wait, did you just do that again? Did that just pop up again? Wait, why are you? Hello,
Rena
sir.
underscore I cheered. X500.
Well, hello, thank you. Aw. And Green Eyes, thank you for the biddies. You are way too sweet. Oh my goodness. Thank you. You guys are just way too fucking sweet. You said comfort food for your emotional hangover tomorrow. Oh, I missed it. I didn't hear that part. Aw. Well, thank you. Oh, it didn't say it literally out loud, but it said it in the notes. I understand now. Now I can actually open up Streamlabs and see everything that I need to see. it changes my color a little bit. I'm a little bit green now. But I just want to say thank you. Ice cream, sushi, whatever you want. Of course, Green Eyes. Thank you so much. I'm gonna check in on Paige. It's only 6 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna see. I have to burp, but I don't have any reverb because this isn't the looper I'm using. Let's see if Paige is on. Oh, Paige is not on yet. So I'm gonna watch for a little bit. Oh, she's hosting me. Whoops, it's fine. This is fine. But yeah, I think I want to go rate her as long as she is there. So I gotta wait a minute here. But I do want to say thank you again. I'm so proud of every single person that told their story today, and I definitely want to do more of these. Like, I desperately want to do more of these. And oh no, oof! I watched Seaspiracy yesterday. Oh, Jen, no. No, I have to be able to eat my sushi. No, I don't want to know. The answer is I don't want to know. And I'm just overwhelmed, and I know I'm going to be tired tomorrow. So tomorrow's probably going to be a super chill music stream, just like I was telling Becca. It happens sometimes when I'm, just, a little down and out sometimes. I need it to be chill. I got a call from New York State. I quit. It's all good. And anybody who donated today to EndoFound, I can't tell you how much I appreciated that. I appreciate that. And there are no words. There are no words. Yes, thank you, everybody. And I was trying to hold off because I know Paige was going to be streaming, but she's not on yet. She's not on yet. No, she's not. She's not on yet. Or it just hasn't popped up yet. So I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens. But Beta's grandma. Okay. I'm so sorry, Beta. Oh, what is happening? Oh, Paige just went live, but she was still she was still hosting me, so it went full screen on me, and I'm like, what is happening? I didn't do that, but she did go live. So as soon as she's not, like, if she has a screen starting soon thing, I'll wait. If not, then we'll go have fun with her. I'm so sorry, Beta. Tell us a bit about EndoFound. So EndoFound is actually called the Endometriosis Foundation of America. Wow, her stream starting soon is very orange, and you can see that on my face. It is so orange. I love it. It's beautiful. And they are very, very heavy on the research part of everything. And it's all about awareness and research. They just started a YouTube channel called Endo TV, and I forgot to tell Trish this. They're always retweeting me and liking my stuff on socials, which is super fucking cool. And I'm so, like, happy that they do that. And they messaged me, and I thought they asked me to be on Endo TV, and I was like, oh, they want to interview me. And then I reread it, and it was like, oh, they want to put me in their newsletter, and this is fine. But, like, they want to put me in their newsletter because of the work I'm doing here on Twitch. And so yeah, I misunderstood, and I was very excited about that, but I'm still very excited. Like, I can be in a newsletter. It'll go out to emails and, like, thousands of people. And, like, I'm really excited. They asked me if they could be a part of that. If they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. Lone Wolf Joker, thank you for your follow. And so, like, I just was so excited. Hey, Beta. 69. It's a nice hue. Yeah, their primary focus, if I didn't answer the question, their primary focus is research, I believe. It was founded by Padma Lakshmi. Lakshmi? I might not be saying that right. But y'all know who Padma is. She's a bad bitch. She is a bad. The orange glow is lovely. It goes with my yellow. And once again, Jen makes beanies. EBX Jen makes beanies. She made these safe spoon ones specifically for Endo month, and I'm really excited to send these out. So I'll be grabbing I think Lakshmi is how you say it. I think It's a toofy sunflower. Yeah, it says resilient on it. And here's the thing is that it's actually a band t-shirt that it's a band out of Philly and they don't exist anymore. But I fell in love with this t-shirt and the lead singer's name is also Aaron. But again, I don't think that the band exists anymore. Her name is Erin Fox. Ironically, I almost was Elsie Fox. So that would have been fantastic. But her name is Erin Fox. She was in a band called Resilient for a while. I don't think it exists anymore, but I loved it. But Jen does make custom beanies. And when we go back out on the road, we usually have Elsie Binks beanies just like this that say Elsie Binks on them. I have a couple of my own. I wear them really regularly, actually. They're very comfy. And so it's pretty cool that we have this type of like talent, right? Like I can't do this. Like, and I'm just really looking forward to sending these to Paige and Becca and Kat. And I'm glad that those names start like falling out of my mouth finally. Twitch bitch. Oh yes, I have my Twitch bitch one. I think it might be upstairs instead of in the closet. What? Posted on their Facebook. Congratulations to Ellen Fox. On the topic of resilient, things have been very busy for us. Oh, however, we still have a boatload of new songs. Oh, good. I hadn't heard anything from them in ages. So that is really cool to know that they are actually still. Yeah, at the time they were like on hiatus, and this was a couple years ago. We played with them. They came up to Michigan and played with us at a show. At least 2 years ago, Jen? Oh, good. So that's relatively recent. That is so good to know. I really liked them. Really liked their music. I appreciated it. The starting screen is like, hello. Wow. Yeah. So it's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. Since we played with them. Your autistic brain. Yeah. So I love this t-shirt. It's great for Endo Month. I hadn't worn it yet this year, but I think it's like so fucking perfect. It doesn't even matter that it's a band name because it's an aggressive sunflower with teeth and it says resilient. Like it doesn't get better than that. It just doesn't get better than that. And it was the last one they had. So I'm not mad. I am not mad. Oh, Paige's sound alerts were off. So she has to read. The bot literally told her to go back. It does match the everything about it video too. Oh, she's here, ma'am. She's here. And oh my God, she has a cat on screen that says, I am an endo warrior. Oh, and it says fuck endo on it, just like mine. It matches. It has an X in it and everything. So I want to go finish up this self-care Sunday with Paige tonight because I feel like it's appropriate. Thank you, Damon Erkey, for almost having my raid call. Whoops. Whoa. Oh. I almost like didn't have my shit together real quick. So I do want to go raid Paige. She was our second guest today. I had a lot of fucking fun talking to her. My uptime is what is it? Yeah, it's almost 4 hours. I thought it would be around this. So make sure that you grab a raid call, guys. And I want to say thank you. Just thank you all for this journey today. There will be more of these. I can promise you that there will be more of these. And thank you for the incredible support. March is not over. Let me remind you that March is not over. So I will still be raising money tomorrow and Wednesday on my music streams, 2:30 Eastern, right here at this desk. I don't have to change anything. Hold on, wait for it. Aw, fuck, my desktop audio is off. Wait. I'm sorry, that was so loud. I'm not sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sorry. So we are still gonna be raising money. I might raise it to 2,500. We'll see. But the month is not over. Let's go give Paige all the love that you have. I'm sorry that it was loud, but I'm also not sorry. Make sure you have a raid call. Raiders is for followers, and raid sub is for subs because it has my emote in it. Make sure you have it. See, there it is. Make sure you have it. I'm not sorry. And I just want you to shower Paige in love, okay? I just want you to fucking shower her in love. That's what I want. And other than that, I can't wait to see you again. Mwah. And thank you for being here for the ENDOCHAT #1.